Everybody in.
I need to It's going to be a rough one.
You already usually.
I didn't today. So we have a tough scene for me. Prairie dog. One of the best terms ever. Touching cotton. Prairie dogged. A couple more I like. Thank you, Paul. Paul. Hello? What happened?
Uh-oh.
Hot mic. Where? Okay. Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Yeah. On YouTube.
Morning, everybody. Ben Woods, 97.3 fan. I was informed there's a hot mic in here. Hopefully you didn't say anything to get us canceled, Ben.
You know, it's funny. Mic are certainly something you worry about in this business. However, we're pretty much who we are. I don't curse on the air. I don't curse off the air.
I curse off
you
the
do,
air like
but everyone knows you do. And
Good news is
it's not like anyone would be surprised. Ooh, Woods uses some foul language.
All I can assume is that somebody's laptop was not muted.
Mine's muted. Yours is muted.
Mine says muted.
Mine's connected to the board.
always
So
until
unless
you-
the mics were on, which they won't.
This is so stupid.
But the good news is, if it goes out over YouTube, you can say whatever you kind of say whatever you want.
well, you can still get canceled.
Well,
if
you
said
can. I
something,
mean,
but
not
don't-
anything, but
I
you
don't
can
feel
curse.
like we say things that
You
should
can
get us
curse.
canceled
I mean, I say
on or
things
off
that
the
can
air.
get me fired off the air as far as way. Talking about nothing.
Adam.
Fine. Adam. Fine. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Fine. That's fine. That guy. That dude is something else. He is something else. How's everybody doing? I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. And that is Benjamin Higgins.
I had a hot camera yesterday.
What's a hot camera?
Well, we had our big annual state of the station meeting at Channel 10 yesterday, like 2 hours.
Oh, God.
Every department goes and, says what they've been up to and what the plan is for the next few months. And it was back in person again. They had lunch in the studio, but it was right at noon, which is a really bad time for me. So
Terrible.
I was one of about 20 people who just joined via Zoom after I had gone home. But at some point after, I don't know, an hour and a half or something, I didn't realize my camera popped on. Not my microphone, but my camera was on.
Hot camera.
And
Hot camera.
I didn't realize that. And I'm not sure exactly how far it went and who was watching. But at some point I got a DM from one of my colleagues who, your camera's on. And I go, oh, God, what have I been doing? I was eating a fish taco, and then I was just wandering around the house a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like holding it up. It was on my phone. So it was wherever it was kind of around and random. I was laying in bed for a minute. I almost started getting like ready for the shower because it was time to get ready for work. That would have been
God.
That would have been bad. Like somehow I had been on camera while undressing and in the middle of a meeting with the entire 140 some odd employees of the station on this Zoom meeting.
So
And they could have all just been watching whatever I was doing at home.
So it's definitely you then that have hot mic right
Probably.
now. Yeah.
Hot
Holy
camera,
crap.
hot mic. I don't know. I mean, it must have just hit it accidentally because I was very, very careful about not turning either of those things on. I wanted to be a very anonymous, non-camera, non-microphone participant in that meeting. But, you're just walking around holding it. And it's not that hard to hit the on button
You
sometimes.
walking around holding it is what everyone was afraid of on that meeting. And I'll tell you, I've seen that video. I've seen that video that came out kind of during the pandemic. I think we talked about it. There's a dude, there's big, squares of all the people on the meeting. And I guess homeboy forgot he had a meeting and the camera was on and he walked over. He had a box of Kleenex and a bottle of lotion and he sat down at his computer and reaches down and starts taking his pants off. And the next thing you know, everyone in the meeting's like, Mike, no. And he's just pull up in his pants.
That's
like,
an awkward conversation with
my
HR
God,
right there.
dude. So that is just terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. We had a fun show yesterday. I think Ben and Woods and Paulie, great job putting that audiogram out yesterday. Our sweet innocent Ben. We were talking about my dessert love of banana cream pies, and Ben asked the question, well, where are all these cream pies coming from? And of course, we got a good laugh out of that. But he also suggested, Woodsy, you should try.
Where are these cream pies coming from?
Paul's reaction was like Hall of
It was a
Fame
very
worthy.
genuine question. I didn't know if you were like making them yourself or
No.
if they were frozen, but you were ordering them
Urban Lates.
takeout
They're
restaurant.
delicious. Absolutely delicious. So Ben suggested, why don't you just make a homemade cream pie yourself and get a banana and put a little Ready Whip on it. And I got to tell you, last night, it's pretty good, pretty delicious.
I mean, a lot healthier with no crust, no pudding
crust,
filling,
pudding,
just
filling, banana, and
just kind of a kicked up banana for dessert, essentially.
It's an erotic dessert too, just so you know. But I did eat it last night and it was really good. It was really good. I think maybe I can my banana cream pie habit now by your suggestion. So I wanted to give you props for a cream pie alternative.
Have you a little risque for 6:07 in the morning,
We're
but
in safe harbor here.
have
I
you
think.
ever done the whipped cream thing You know what I'm talking
I
about?
do know
This
what
is
it's
foreplay.
about. This is called foreplay.
This is some foreplay.
My wife's listening. It's not with her, but I did it one time in college. And let's be honest, it's not great.
No.
Because it sours. And it's really, you take one pull off the can, delicious. And you get a little nitrous in there too. But you take one pull off the can, delicious. Slather it around and let it sit for a while. And then it smells like rotted milk after a while. So it's not sexy. It's not hot. I feel like food in the bedroom is, you should.
Chocolate sauce, whipped cream.
No,
yeah, just
dude.
no.
My wife is such a clean freak. That would be her Guantanamo. If I said, hey, this is what I want for my birthday, chocolate sauce, whipped cream in the bed, it would be like going to Guantanamo Bay for her for a month. Waterboarding, the whole bit. She'd be like, I'll literally do anything. I'll bring another woman in here before I'll bring food into our bed. I promise you. I as well as I know
a little
her,
Windex.
just smother her in Clorox. Now that would get her. That would get her. Here, try some of this Lysol in your face. Yeah, it's the food in the bedroom bit. I think is way overrated. And I mean way overrated. I guess you've asked me, I have to return the favor. Have you tried it? The same result?
No, I don't think so. I've never wanted to, and I must be like Hannah, because that's, to me, it's very unappealing.
I picture yours would be different though than just your traditional chocolate sauce and whipped cream. I feel like he would have like very fancy cheeses in there. Caviar.
Well, I have seen the where they do the sushi and then they lay it out on a person. Yeah. Like a platter of sushi, but then artfully arranged on a person. You've seen that before?
I cannot think of anything worse than eating sushi off of a human. I just can't. I just really, really can't think of anything worse. A ribeye. All right.
You pass the mashed potatoes, please.
They're in her belly button. I'm trying to think if there's anything that would. You can't do ice cream, because it's cold, and again, it's dairy, so eventually it will start to smell like rotted milk.
Right.
At some point, it will start to smell like rotted milk. Is there pizza?
Pizza.
A slice of pizza here. We'll grab this here. There was a whole Seinfeld about it where George's girlfriend. George loves food and she loves sex. So he's like, can we please combine this? And she's like, yeah, all right, I'll try it. And he's in the midst and he like reaches over, opens the drawer, pulls out a pastrami sandwich. And it's just so gross, dude. It's so gross. Imagine, is there anything good that you could bring to the table? And by the table, I mean a nude body that you could place on or amongst a nude body that would be good. Fruit?
I don't know. Fruit is very sticky as well, usually. Like the fruit juice and
and plus the older I get, just get it. Let's
just get to it.
Just get to it at the end of the day. Let's just get to it. And then I can sleep and you can sleep and we're both dragging ass and the kids are wearing us out. Let's just get to it. Call her a day. I don't know. You got, I'm always down to spice things up and stuff. I think costumes are better than food. Would you agree?
Not really a costume fan either.
Not for you. I'm not saying you need to run in like the Green Lantern or anything. Ben is the detective in Bo's outfit with his detective outfit on. Excuse me, ma'am. I hear you have a problem here. Like them.
That doesn't seem fair. Just a one-way costume.
All right, I'm getting very uncomfortable. He's made me, and it's weird that he brought this.
I did
up, but anyway, I did try the dessert last night. There is video, by the way. I just didn't post it. because I just thought it was overkill. But my wife has the video, and if she wants to post it, she can. But I did not post it last night.
But you enjoyed it.
It's really good. It's like the best. It's like the best part. Now, whipped cream is not. It's not like, hey, this is a protein-based whipped cream. It's still semi-unhealthy.
It's a little bit of a treat, but it's dessert.
Treat.
It's dessert.
Yes.
It's supposed to be.
A plain banana for dessert is not dessert. That's
but
fruit.
If you're eating something that normally would be 600 calories, and instead you have something that's 200, that's a huge improvement. And if you're still getting some enjoyment out of that, that's totally worth it in my mind.
I really agree. George says Ben's sexy charcuterie board. Laid out spiced meats.
Yeah, spiced meats.
All over a nude body, and then go to town. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Paulie, have you ever tried it, by the way?
Food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
once.
The whip. Once?
I didn't do anything.
It doesn't do much. Yeah, it's everyone tries it one time. And then you're like, it smells. it's sour.
It's messy.
It's messy. Maybe I'm putting this all in Hannah. I don't think I would like it either. I don't think the mess would be something I'd be like, yes, lay around in filth and strawberry seeds.
Roll around in some whipped cream.
Yes.
Chocolate
really, I mean,
sauce.
we have so many chores around the house to begin with.
Yeah.
The last thing you think you need. Now we have to do a ton of laundry after this as well.
The bringing a bottle of Windex, though, absolutely laid me out. And I think Hannah, that would probably get her. Anyway, meatball wheel in the room.
Meatball wheel.
Hang on one sec. Hang on, let me get my meatball wheel here right quick.
Oh, yeah.
And here.
Spin it. I like that. Different than the topic wheel.
Let's see what's behind door number 1. Pork meatball. You are deviant, and I love it. And the rad one says alcohol. It kills germs and dries quickly. Tequila shots out of the belly button. Okay.
Body shots.
That's kind of hot. Whew. All right. I'm getting all hot and bothered.
All right. That's a good way to get into the show. That's why we do this, to warm up a little bit.
I'm warm. Oh, dude, today's National Meatball Day.
Wow.
Look at that. Oh, National Get Over It Day as well. Try that one at home. Just get over it. Be a dead man. National Crab Meat Day. I'm going to pass on crab meat in the bedroom.
Essentially, a crab cake is kind of a crab meatball.
Can you imagine
when you think about
eating crab cakes off of your spouse? I'm repulsed. I'm actually repulsed at us right now.
Should go home.
All right, we've got.
Let's just replay all the interviews we had this week.
We haven't had that many. We had Major Garrett yesterday. He was
awesome.
Good. We will check in with Sammy spring training a little bit later as well. The WBC is still underway. We've got a tie game right now between Italy and Cuba in the 8th inning over in the Far East right now. I don't know if they're in Japan or in Taiwan, but one of the two venues. The rest of the games are done. Watched a couple last night as well. We can talk about the WBC. We'll talk about the Padres yesterday as well. We'll get into all of that. First, though, the Daily Diddy coming up next. Paulie's pick, Paulie's theme, artists that share the name with the person choosing the Daily Ditty. So we'll get another Paul coming up.
It's one of my favorite themes we've ever done. I'm legitimately on the edge of my seat waiting to see what he picks.
All right, that's coming up next, and then we'll just get into the show going until 10 o'clock this morning. It is Ben and Woods. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for getting through foreplay with us.
Oh, she posted the video of me eating
the banana,
your dessert,
whipped cream on a banana.
It's up there now.
That's coming up. Let's check traffic with Kelly, and then we're off and running here on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, you can't hear Paul McCartney and Wings playing Band on the Run. I was told by my consultant, Hannah Nankara Woods, that she's like, we just sit there and we watch you guys on the stream and you're talking like, ha, 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 isn't that great? But you have to do a better job explaining it. So I said, you know what? You're right. So Paulie picked Paul McCartney and Wings, which I find it interesting. Paulie is a mystery wrapped in a riddle because he hates the Beatles, but you like Paul McCartney and Wings?
Paul McCartney's great.
Get this. This is peeled his head open like an onion and dig inside. It's a great song, Band on the Run. It's 3 songs in one. I love when it's 3. There's 3 different like iterations in one song. So that's Band on the Run. Yeah, we have it. If we play it on YouTube, we'll get flagged. So I don't know how we fix it. I don't think we do. Just have to wear it, YouTube viewers.
It's like the 30-second price to pay for watching the stream on YouTube.
Yep. You can still listen on radio or the Odyssey app.
We can can the whole the YouTube thing, and then
we can just cancel the whole show.
Everybody go back to the Odyssey app or the radio, and then you can get the Daily Diddy.
I love that song. I love that song.
Fun one.
I have skipped Paul McCartney in concert for many, many years, and I don't know why. As much as I like the Beatles, I was a John and George guy, and I was like, Paul, kind of corny. For me, he's a legend, obviously. He's great. But I've always skipped him, and the older I get, I'm lamenting that fact. That
He's still touring, or is he done?
I don't know, but like the last tour he did, I was like, oh, no, I've made a grave mistake. I had moron. You had the chance to see a Beatle and you're like, good. I can't. Maybe I'm the one that needs to be cut open and looked inside because it makes no sense. But that is our Daily Diddy selection. Paul with a great one, Band on the Run from Wings. I love that they went on. A lot of them went on to like really good solo careers too. It just shows you how immensely talented they were.
I mean, how many other bands have really done that? The Eagles, they all kind of, most of them went on and had pretty okay solo careers or really good.
Yeah.
The Beatles did that.
Beatles did it.
Not a lot of other bands, though, were multiple members. Now, obviously, like the lead singer of some bands then broke off and did some solo stuff, but Stevie Nicks, Sting. But in terms of the like multiple band members all going on and doing a lot of things to get, on their own.
Yeah.
That's fairly rare.
Very, very, very rare. Great pick, Paulie.
A lot of the bands, just the bands that have been around for so long, they've been together so long that they never had to venture off and do anything else. I mean,
I think it's the creative itch, though.
Did anybody, I don't know. Did anybody in Nirvana besides Dave Grohl move on?
Yeah. Chris Novoselic, they had little bands and stuff, but nothing major.
Not Foo Fighters.
It's the creative itch, though. It's like if I want to do, I don't have my creative itch is scratched in here. It's not like I need to go do it. Now I worry that Ben may have a creative itch to do another.
Is that what it is? Because
podcast.
when I put together Take on Woods, I'm often, Googling different bands.
Right.
And
that's exactly what
it's almost always there's like they were successful for a while and then they broke up for a while for various different reasons. Could be personal conflicts. You said someone wants to try something else creatively. And then almost all the time, then they come back together 15 years later. Will that happen? Will we break up and then will we come back together at some point?
A lot of that's, I think, a money grab for those. And it's like, hey man, we're a band and you're in a band to make music and to be an artist. But Nirvana, for all their angst and stuff, Kurt Cobain was happy that they made money. You know what I mean? Like it affords you a better lifestyle.
Is there a lot of tension though between, say, the famous member of the band, like the lead singer, and then the backup musicians who say, why are you getting all the money in the band? Or sometimes the lead singer is, why am I sharing so much money with these guys?
Billy Joel, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, go watch this documentary. I think it's on Netflix, but it's about the side players and the session people. Well, he would bring these session guys in, and then the session guys turned into his band. His drummer, his guitar player, whatever. And he after they were with him for 30 years and they made Scale. And he was Billy Joel. And I mean, there's a part of it where the guys go, well, I mean, I'm traveling around, I'm playing music for a living, I'm getting paid to do it. There's a somewhat of a relenting you have to do, I think, if you're not the big
Headliner,
town.
yeah.
The guys in Foo Fighters are probably like, I mean, Dave's Dave, but we are a band and our input is appreciated. But at the end of the day, there's one voice in that band and it's his. He's going to make the kind of final decision, I think. But it's hard to have a band where everybody has an equal vote and says, yes, we all agree. It's hard to agree on everything every day.
It is.
But I wonder,
even with the three of us.
It is. I wonder if do you fetishize maybe having another?
How often do you think bands, like, that's got to be a conversation all the time, right? Like, how do bands get paid? It's got to be so. Like, how do the individual band members
you
get paid?
You get a band of 4 guys.
Yep.
They're going to make
a worldwide tour,
$100,000 for this big concert. How do you divide that up between the 4 guys? Is it 25,000 each?
Rarely.
But
how do you decide on that?
Nobody would fault Mick Jagger for making more money in endorsements and all the other side stuff that he's doing because of how famous their band is.
Right.
But how does when the Rolling Stones would go on a worldwide, 50 city tour?
Does Ron Wood make exactly the same as Mick Jagger?
Nor should he. Sorry. He shouldn't. I don't think. The Doors are one of the only bands I've ever heard of that split everything 4 ways equally. One of the only bands. I've never 3. Are they 3 or 4? 4. 3. How many people? 3. Ray, Jim, Robbie, and John. 4. They split everything down the middle. So I mean, it's not easy to do. Not easy to do. I like that, band dynamics, because it is very much like a morning show. I wonder if you have a fetish, like to go, not a fetish, an itch to go do like a more sportsy podcast.
No, I don't. No itches right now. My itch is to stay with you and keep doing this show. I mean, I would love to do some more play-by-play at some point.
Yes.
But I don't think that would interfere with a morning show. You
say that.
I say that, and I have already proven that I can juggle more than one job at once.
Yes, you're very talented.
Speaking of bands, touring, and artists, so you got some tickets to give away to Dierks Bentley. Call right now. Be the 4th caller, 833-288-0973. Don't know what he's getting paid for this show at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater.
More than his drummer.
August 18th, or how much he's sharing, but tickets do go on sale March 24th at Ticketmaster.com. But call now. 4th caller wins, 833-288-0973. Well, we had our Will Myers reunion yesterday. We had a little over-under bet on Will Myers hits in the game yesterday.
Is this the easiest money of all time?
Apparently.
We'll do this running tally throughout the year. So I'm plus 10 right now. I've won $10.
Just keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up. At the end of the year, we pay off.
Is it just for former Padres the Padres?
Former Padres only.
Do you always take the over and I always take the under? We can sometimes switch it around.
We've done this before. We did it with Tommy Pham.
Yeah,
last
I murdered
year.
him. Yeah, I murdered him. Like Pham had like 4
every day.
It was like 3.5. We went 4 for 4. Like
the coldest batter in baseball. Come on.
Or 2.5, and he got 3 hits in the first game.
We did the whole series at like 3.5. He had 4 hits in day 1. I go,
it's over.
It's done.
It's over. So we'll do a little Padres, Reds talk and more when we come back with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. down 4-2 in the 10th inning to Italy.
Dude,
You go 0-2, you're going to have a lot of trouble getting out of pool play. They may be done after this game. Even if they won the rest of their games, there's no guarantee they'd move forward. So, Cuba in a tough spot. They need a big bottom of the 10th inning to maybe even keep their hopes alive. One of the teams that a lot of people thought could be like a Final Four type team at this tournament, possibly out early at the World Baseball Classic. We'll keep you updated on that.
I'm very much enjoying what I've seen and what I've been able to see and watch. The stories of some of the we all know the stories about the stars and stuff of these teams, but like the Australia team, the Team Australia ended up beating Korea last night. And I thought to myself, I'm really glad I don't gamble, because I would have you see the roster of the Australian team and you're like, who are these guys? And I posted the picture of the firefighter captain that hit a home run, who is just as shredded, more shredded than cheese, dude. He hit that big bomb last night. They won. They beat Korea. I would have lost a fortune on that game if I had bet. Korea looked like the better team. They've got stars on there, and it just goes to show you, man, baseball is a fickle bee, dude. It really is. It is very, very tough.
We'll talk more about it, but there was one moment in the Korea game that one of their players it's going to stick with him probably for the rest of his life. What one of the Korean players did during that game yesterday.
That's the other thing, is the time of it. I was holding my eyes open. I was watching it on my phone last night, lying in bed, and I sacked out, man. I'm wiped, and I'd love if these games were on during the day. It's not all about me, so I know everybody doesn't get up at 3
they will be
in the
once
morning.
they're here,
once
and
they're
in Florida, you'll be able to see more of them. But obviously, these games in Japan and Taiwan are going to be, time shifted for us a little bit. Country music superstar Sam Hunt will take over Resorts World Theater on April 21st and 22nd. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com, but we are giving them away here at 97.3 The Fan. And you really don't have to do anything. Just listen on the Odyssey app for your chance to win. Every hour you listen through March 19th equals one entry into the contest. You get 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas and tickets to the show. We'll come back with some Padres talk. Reds yesterday. Fernando Tatis Jr. still looking for that first hit. First, let's check traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Got a few problems here. Crash on the southbound side of the 5 at Imperial. It's now over to the right shoulder. Westbound side of the 8 past Fletcher Parkway. 2-vehicle accident over to the right shoulder. Also an accident in the center divide, eastbound side of the 52. This is just past Mission Gorge. Southbound 67 right at the westbound 8. Watch out for what looks like a traffic sign down in lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, so yesterday the Padres hosted the Cincinnati Reds, and Will Myers decided, even though a lot of times veteran players don't do the drive for the road games in spring training, he wanted to be there. He wanted to go and say hi. And he went before the game and visited with the Padres, taking batting practice to say hello to all of his old friends after 8 seasons, going to the Cincinnati Reds on a 1-year deal in the offseason. And Padres fans were very supportive and happy to see him as well. Got a lot of cheers at the Peoria Sports Complex. Sometimes that's not the case when a player leaves an organization, but in this case, nothing but good feelings toward Will Myers on his return to Peoria.
And, it's the time-honored tradition of former Padres coming back to torch you. Now, not that Will Myers torched you with didn't he have like a bleeder single,
and then a like a 6 chopper up the middle RBI single, 2 hits.
Cash the bet over 1.5 hits. Did it in his first 2 at bats, which should probably pay out a little bit more because it's spring training and you pretty much have to go.
You have 3 at bats usually, exactly. At most.
So Will Myers delivers.
That was one of my reasoning for going under.
Of course,
1.5. I'm going, right, you're not getting 5 at bats in this game. So, but yeah, and the Reds ended up winning 10-9. Obviously the pitching wasn't as sharp as we had seen. Julio Teheran gave up a few runs. Brent Honeywell gave up a few runs yesterday.
Yeah.
Bob Melvin said stuff looked good. For Teheran. Still, I heard him talking after the game, but in terms of the clean sheets that he had been producing so far this spring, not the case yesterday against the Reds.
Yeah, not so much. I watched some of it. I didn't see anything that gave me, cause for concern or anything. And again, it's spring training. You don't know what they're working on. Alfonso Rivas, nice bomb. That was pretty nice.
Jose Azocar's looking kind of good.
Man. He's looking pretty good.
He's driving the ball a little bit. He had a two-run double down the line, and he's been doing that a lot. I mean, no home runs, and I don't think you're ever going to get many, if any, home runs. But the ball's in the gap. He can run forever. So that's a good sign for a guy who's trying to make the last spot or two on the roster.
Yeah, and you just wonder, with Tatis being out for a few weeks at least, you're going to have somebody out there, and I think I don't think it's going to be one guy. I think it's going to be a couple of guys, and a combo of Dahl and Azocar would be okay. I think with me, it's not something that you're super comfortable with riding for any real length of time, Ben, but for 3 weeks at the beginning of the season, batting near the bottom of the order, I think we could all be comfortable with that with what we've got at the top. That said, man, the one thing there's a couple storylines that are pretty interesting to me. Jose Lopez is really interesting. I mean, the guy's essentially guaranteed a roster spot and has been horrid. He's been horrific, and it sucks because
he's not going to have a roster spot.
He's guaranteed one though, with being a Rule 5 guy.
Well, they're going to give him back.
Yeah,
they don't have a spot for him.
There's no spot. Well, my point being, hey man, you're a Rule 5 pick. You come over, you pitch well, you're on the big league roster. You're gonna be there. He is. I think his ERA is 16.3. That feels to me different than, well, it's just spring training. Maybe he's working on some stuff. He's been extremely hittable. I just don't know. I just don't think he's a guy.
It's a low cost flyer on someone. I mean, who knows? When you take a guy in a Rule 5 draft, you're not sure what your circumstances are going to be in March. Do you have a bunch of injuries? Is the guy just going to pitch out of his mind? What's the cost? Ultimately, they spent $100,000 to get him.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to keep him, they have to offer him back for $50,000.
Correct.
So it's a $50,000 loss out of a $270 million payroll. It's, you have to take some chances in baseball, and sometimes they pay off. Most of the time, those low cost gambles, they don't, and you just move on. And, all right, we tried, and he's not going to be part of our plans here in 2023.
Yeah, which is fine. But he was an interesting guy at the beginning. And anytime you get somebody from the Rays, you wonder, well, what the hell's wrong with them if the Rays are going to give him up? So, probably not going to make the roster.
And they didn't give him up. You can't protect everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe that was some of the thinking. Like, they got so many prospects that they're a good team to try to steal from. But
I will say this. I think yesterday's game was the game that pushed me over the edge of over it, ready for the regular season. I think yesterday was the tipping point to me where I was like, all right, I'm good.
Well, 3 weeks from today, we'll be there.
I've satiated my spring training need to watch a lot of these games, and I don't really care anymore. I'm ready for the real deal and to watch our big dogs hit and our big dogs pitch and all that. Some pretty encouraging news on Joe Musgrove yesterday as well. I believe they said throwing from flat ground, but anchoring both feet, not stepping and landing, just throwing,
keeping that arm going.
keeping that whip loose, no pain at all, and feels pretty good. So that's good. That's an encouraging sign.
I don't feel any worse than I did yesterday about Fernando Tatis Jr. at the plate. He took another 0 for 3. He's now 0 for 13 this spring.
The frustration was pretty evident, though, with Fernando.
I think everyone wants to see some results, but I said it yesterday, and I don't think it's changed much. I will be concerned about Fernando Tatis Jr. when I see him, barrel up the ball, but it dies at the warning track, that maybe the power is not there. He's just getting a little under it. He's popping some up. The timing doesn't look that bad. I mean, he's pulling the ball. He's like a millimeter off of hitting a ball 440 feet out of the yard. From what this just from what I've seen, his misses aren't bad. He's not swinging wildly at pitches all over the place. He's just not quite barreling up the ball. That's spring training in a nutshell. And, you could say, well, I'm kind of glad he's got 6 more weeks until he gets started. But, in 2.5 weeks, he could be as red hot as anyone. And you're going to be going, man, I wish he was ready to go on opening day because he is lighting it up. We don't even know what it's going to look like a week from now. So I'm not any more concerned than I was yesterday. I feel bad for him. I'm sure he would love just to see a few balls fall in and,
Of course.
have a couple of home runs and extra base hits because that's what he does. And
Yeah, he more than anybody in the world wants to hit that ball in the gap and run to third base like it's no problem, like how he does it, and he glides around like a gazelle. He wants that, and I could see it yesterday. A little bit frustrated, like you said, getting under it. Just not quite there yet. But I'm honest to God, I saw 2 takes yesterday on Twitter that made some of my hair fall out. I'm pretty sure. One was, should we buy, sell, or hold on Fernando Tatis Jr. stock? And then
that's not a take. That's a question.
Right. The fact that it's a question is a take, though. There's there's 2 very obvious answers. Buy and hold.
All right. That's fair.
Okay. It's like, obviously. The other one was, I wouldn't care if we packaged him and got 1 big league starter and some prospects.
Okay. The one that to me is not a good take.
That's the one that made me want to full Jack Nicholson shining, slam all the stuff off of the table. Yeah, I'm gonna buy, actually. I'm gonna buy heavy on Fernando Tatis Jr. And when I buy it, I'm then going to hold it. I'm going to
take advantage of that handful of people who are actually willing to sell on him.
Stock,
You'll just take their shares of Fernando Tatis Jr. off their hands right now.
If you have shares of Fernando Tatis Jr. you want to unload, I will buy them personally from you.
Woody's putting together a mutual fund.
Yes,
it's going to be a heavy Fernando Tatis Jr. cap.
He says that. I have no idea. I don't know what I know. I've heard of it. You
don't know what a mutual fund is,
bro. I don't even know how insurance works. I don't even know what a deductible is. So yes, you're right. I don't know what a mutual fund is. I'm an artist. I can't get bogged down with those details.
All right, fine. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Someday, though, I will have you Ben-splain to me and Paul. Paul, do you know what a mutual fund is?
Nope.
Yep. So there you go. 8:00. We got an hour. We'll reset the show. You can explain to everybody what a mutual fund is.
It's not that hard. I could do it in like less than
do it now.
30 seconds.
All right, go ahead.
All right. It's just a group of stocks that are bundled together. Let's say you've got a mutual fund with 4 stocks. They're all worth $25 each. You can buy
4
share,
different stocks.
4 different stocks.
Okay.
Like 1 share of 4 different stocks. So for $100, you can have 4. They're all just together, but it minimizes the risk a little bit because while one stock can go up or down, a little bit more wildly based on what's going on in that company. If you own like 15 different stocks in a mutual fund, generally, 8 or 9 of them go up, 1 or 2 go down. You're just slowly making money on the stock market with less risk.
So this is not, hey, we're putting all of our stock into one player. He's
just part of a larger mutual fund of stocks.
He's part of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
He is.
Okay.
The mutual fund would be Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, and Soto. And maybe one of them slumping every once in a while. But if you own the whole mutual fund,
makes sense.
You're probably in pretty good shape because it's very unlikely that all of those stocks are going to go down at the same time.
What is the 4 horsemen mutual fund going to cost me?
It'll be a premium mutual fund for sure.
That's Apple, Coke.
Yeah. These are blue chip stocks.
Okay. All right. But so what you're saying now is Tatis's is a little bit lower. Manny's may be
a little higher.
A little higher because he's been pretty locked in. Soto's is through the roof right now because he's been tearing the cover off the ball. All right. Okay. I like that.
Not that hard to explain.
Do you own any mutual funds?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. I don't own the whole mutual fund. You own a little tiny piece of like a larger mutual fund. People who are in, you buy it like a stock. Like this mutual fund's worth $400 right now with a bunch of other stocks inside of it, and you own some shares of that because there's probably hundreds or thousands of each individual stock in it. You can't, unless you're Peter Seiler, you can't buy the whole mutual fund. You don't have
Peter
that kind of
Seiler
money.
owns that entire mutual fund, actually.
Probably, yes.
Well, no, he does.
This one, yes, he does.
He literally
does own this one.
Owns that entire mutual fund.
So there
How about
you go.
that for a nickname for those guys? The mutual fund. I love it.
All guests on Ben and Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Today, Michael Wacha will make his first Cactus League start for the Padres. At least he's scheduled to, against the Cleveland Guardians. I believe that one down in Goodyear Padres will make the road trip, but Michael Wacha going to
Love it.
take the hill for the first time. So we saw Snell. Now we're seeing Wacha get a couple of the regulars out there.
Good. All right. I don't think like I said, I'm over it. Now that the WBC on, it's kind of pulling my attention to that because
the stars are gone.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, all right.
Bogarts,
I guess we can be on Fernando Hit Watch.
Xander Bogarts stock up at the WBC. We'll talk
Big
about
time.
that coming up next. Play a little real or fake as well, all ahead here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, it's final. Italy has defeated Cuba 6-3 in 10 innings. So Cuba falls to 0-2 and on the verge of elimination already at the World Baseball Classic. Italy 1-0 in their first game. Meanwhile, the Netherlands is now 2-0 and cruising toward advancing to the next round. They got a home run from Xander Bogaerts in a 3-1 win over Panama last night, our time, in their second game. So they beat Cuba. They beat Panama, probably the two other best teams in their pool, pretty much puts them on cruise control into the next round to come over to the United States after getting out of their pool play.
So I put on at 7:00 last night, I put on the Korea against Australia. And, I think the entire universe thought Korea was gonna dominate that game. Australia hung in there. What happened? You said there was something.
So it was a good game, back and forth. You had a 3-run home run by Korea in the 5th inning to go ahead. Yeah,
that was a cool moment.
Really good moment. But then Australia came back and they had a 3-run home run in the 7th inning, and they were up. They were up 1. I think it was 5-4 in the bottom of the second, and one of the Korean players, I think, one out, hits one into the gap, doubles, gets in safely. He is so fired up. He's looking at his dugout. He's like, does a big fist pump. And when he does that, he lifts his foot up and the guy tags him out. The umpire originally ruled him safe, but they went to the replay and he definitely lifted his foot off the base just in celebration. I hadn't called timeout and he was called out. And I don't know, it was 1 pitch later or 2 pitches later, single into the gap would have easily scored him to tie the game. And instead they were still behind by 1. Now Australia then hit another 3-run home run. They were up 8-4, but then Korea scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th, so they ended up losing by 1 run.
They also had another guy picked off when I was watching as well. Korea did. So some sloppy base running.
I mean, he was there. It was sloppy celebrating.
Sloppy celebrating.
After a nice piece of hitting and base running to get there. That's got to sting, especially when you're representing your country. And if they get eliminated and you feel like, oh man, that 1 run might have been the difference in us going on or going home, that one's got to hurt quite a bit. Ha-Seong Kim went 0-for-4, I believe.
Made a slick-ass play, though.
Korea did score a run, walked and scored a run late in the game, but did not get a hit yesterday for Team Korea. So they're now in some trouble as well because Australia was a team they were favored to beat. And now, with 1 loss, you can still get through, but they've got their tougher games still remaining and pretty much going to have to run the table to make sure they get to the United States.
So speaking of the United States, was that game on? I believe it was. Yeah. It was like the kind of scrimmage warm up. It was the United States against the San Francisco Giants yesterday. So you see the lineup that Mark DeRosa and his crew run out for Team USA, and you go, good God, like the Giants are about to get bodied. They didn't get bodied. The Giants actually won that game. And I think the real problem for Team USA is going to be starting pitching. Miles Michaelis went out there and they banged him around a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you look at the lineup and you're like, this lineup's as good as anything I've ever seen. But Adam Wainwright's getting the ball game 1 for Team USA.
He's been struggling this spring,
getting crushed in spring training. So I mean, I know that's it's a different thing entirely, and you can focus in a little more for a game like that. But we'll see, man. I think pitching's going to be.
I like Nick Martinez, but he's the Padres, 4th or 5th starter. Is he really one of the 5 best American starting pitchers in the entire country? I don't know. I mean, they're going to be counting on him probably for at least a start somewhere, though, in the World Baseball Classic. Japan took care of business with an 8-1 win over China in a game that just wrapped up about half an hour ago. Shohei Ohtani went 4 shutout innings, also had a couple of hits, couple of RBI, a run scored, doing everything like Shohei Ohtani tends to do. And they got off to a solid start, one of the favorites in the tournament with an 8-1 victory.
I'm glad you mentioned Shohei Ohtani. Before you got in this morning, Woods and I saw a video. Apparently, Shohei and Yu Darvish are sharing a condo, like an apartment.
It's a suite.
It's
like bosom buddies.
It's in the stadium.
It's in the stadium.
Like the balcony, you go out the door.
Like the Toronto Blue Jays place.
And the balcony looks right down into the field. I mean, it's a hotel room.
Yeah,
it's a double bed hotel room.
It's not the suite. I mean, they don't have their own rooms or anything.
There's 2 beds
In the same room
next to each other.
They're sharing a room. In above one bed is a picture of Shohei, and above the other bed is a picture of Yu Darvish. There's about a foot.
Do they sleep in the bed that has their picture under it, or do they switch and sleep in the other one?
I would imagine you're like, oh, this one's mine. They're sharing a room.
What's going on? Yu Darvish just signed an over $100 million contract extension.
Yeah.
Shohei is, he got $30 million for one season before he hits free agency this year. I'm pretty sure I know hotel rooms tend to be expensive in Japan, but I'm pretty sure they could afford their own if they really, really wanted to.
I think that maybe they want to.
I just sent it to you, Ben. You can see it.
Tweet it too if you can.
I did. I retweeted it from Ben and Woods.
Okay, good.
And yeah, there's jerseys along the walls from all the Japanese legends. It looks great.
Dope, is it like a promotional thing? Are they getting paid to do this? Is it a reality show of some sort?
I really don't know.
I'm so confused.
There's just 2 beds, right? There's 2 feet in between the beds. They're just hanging out. Small TV.
What if one of them snores?
Dude, no kid. Well, the first thing I thought of is don't let Adam Klug see this, because he's going to want Paulie and I to share a room at fantasy camp, and it's just not happening. It's
it's a great argument. Hey, if Shohei Ohtani and Yu Darvish can share a single hotel room, Woods, why can't you share a room with Paul Ryan?
They're killing us, man.
They are literally ruining my life. Both of those guys are killing me right now. So he's now going to see that and go, oh, if they can do it, you guys can do it. So that's not happening. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And the video is really cool of their room. And you can see that at Ben and Woods.
Playing real or fake here in just a second. 833-288-0973. A chance to qualify for a getaway to Las Vegas. Let's see. We got all the scores in. 3-1, Netherlands over Panama. Australia 8, Korea 7. Japan 8, China 1, and Italy 6, Cuba 3. Today's games, you get tonight at 7 o'clock. China will take on the Czech Republic, both kind of underdogs in the tournament. And then
the Czech Republic is one of the more fascinating teams. You're talking about literally guys like, hi, I'm a barista, and I'm your second baseman. Hi, I'm I work in finance.
They had to qualify to get in.
Yes.
And by the way, that's if you finish last in your pool, you have to go back into qualifying for the next World Baseball Classic. So it's important to try to win at least 1 or 2 games just so you don't have to do that the next go around. Cuba will play Panama. That's at 8:30 tonight. Obviously, that is a must win for Cuba. If they're not already out, they would be if they don't win that one. And then the really late games, 2 a.m., Korea, Japan, and then 3 a.m. Italy against Chinese Taipei.
Oh, so, just a theme room. Tim says they're not staying there. All right.
I was gonna be very skeptical that they were actually. So they just visited someone else.
The Yu Darvish Shohei suite.
Someone else can rent that room out, and they went to promote it a little bit.
Are we the most gullible humans alive? Because apparently, remember the video I talked about earlier where the guy was taking his pants off? That was all staged too. So we'll believe anything we see. We're part of the problem here, guys.
Yeah.
We're part of the problem.
I hate having to be skeptical about everything all the time, but it really is the only way to live right now in the year 2023.
You're right.
Good news for us, though.
We
will get our own rooms at fantasy camp.
That's true. Yeah, I'm just a rube that believes everything he sees. Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Rube. It's such a rube. Funny word.
It's a great word.
On Twitter, it must be real.
It's got to be real.
All right.
I really hope that guy doing the shuffle, I thought that was real, and that would have delighted me if a guy did that. It's also very gross. You don't want to do that on camera in front of your coworkers, but the fact that that's fake, it's kind of ruined my day.
Actually, it made my day a little bit better.
Yes,
so
true. Fair enough.
All right, you should like the theme today for a little real or fake. We got a contestant on the line. Let's play our game.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
We're going to try to qualify Sean for a getaway to Las Vegas and tickets to see 38 Special. They'll be live in concert on April 28th at the International Theater at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Get 4 out of the 7 right. You can qualify for that trip to Vegas, 2 nights and the tickets to the show. Do we have the Real or Fake sponsor here? Yes. No, we don't. Not today.
We do.
We do.
It's just not on your list.
All right. Why don't you just go ahead and read that one for me right now?
I'll just sit here.
Usually
quietly.
SD Home Turf, I think.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Home Turf. Save time and water with pet-friendly, always green grass. And get a free consultation by calling the team at Home Turf at 888-4SD-TURF or go to sdhometurf.com.
You're impressed that I remembered that, though.
I was
that
looking
there's
for it right before you said that.
Real or Fake sponsor. Sean, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good, buddy.
All right. You are a contestant today for Real or Fake. You just need to get 4 out of the 7 right. Woodsy can help you out. He should be good at this category. After all the banana cream pie talk, I went with a pie-themed Real or Fake today. So McDonald's first started selling those little hand pies in 1965. Since then, I believe they've offered over 40 different varieties at their locations around the world. Not just apple and cherry, but there's been quite a few others. And remember, they have locations in a lot of different places. So today, Sean, I'm going to give you a pie flavor. You have to tell me if it was ever a real McDonald's pie or a fake I have thrown in to fool you. Got it, Sean?
And I can help you.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, here we go. Round 1, McDonald's pies. Bacon potato pie. Real or fake, Sean?
I would.
Fake.
Real.
It's real.
Yes. I'm not sure where that was, maybe in England somewhere, but they had the bacon potato pie that they offered. All right, that's
I
all
would
right.
eat it.
We often get off to a slow start and then we rally in this game. Round 2, Sean. Peppermint cream pie. Real or fake, Sean?
Fake.
That is fake. I made that one up. All right, 1 point for
I
Sean.
bet you did, Panama Red.
Round 3. Corn pie. Sean, corn pie. Real or fake?
That's when.
What do you think, Woodsy?
Oh, God. I'm going to say fake.
Sean, what do you say?
We'll go with fake.
I would have thought that too. No, they offered a corn pie.
In Iowa. Iowa only. We have so much corn, we don't know what to do with it.
All right, round 4. Let's get going here. Chocolate banana pie. Sean, real or fake?
Real.
Yeah, that one was real.
Wood.
Wood's
You know
wood.
I would. Come
All right,
on.
that's 2. 2 right, 2 wrong. So we go to round 5. You just need 2 out of the last 3. Red bean pie. Real or fake, Sean?
I'm going to go fake.
No, that's real. That's a fairly common dessert filling in Asia. I believe that one's where they sold the red bean pie. That means you need to get these last 2
God.
correct
Oh, God.
man.
Oh, no.
to win our game. All right, real or fake?
Come on, man.
Creamy herb chicken pie. Sean.
Fake.
Fake. It's got to be. It's real. No, it's not. There's no effing
Oh, my God.
way.
Sorry, Sean. Yeah, McDonald's made a creamy herb chicken
What
pie.
the hell?
And that ends our game for Sean today. Thank you for playing.
I'm so
sorry, we can't
man.
qualify you for our trip to Las Vegas.
You're not going to get to see 30.
Last one for you, Woods. Mashed potato pie.
Real.
Hey, that was a disastrous game of real or fake today. All around.
I was hoping you would do some sort of pie.
There you
category.
go.
Those were a lot more savory pies.
There were some savory pies. I don't know if the corn pie is sweet
I don't
or
either,
savory.
because you can do sweet corn, like
yeah.
sweet corn pudding.
Yeah. But you could also do more of a savory corn pie.
Love corn. I'm a big corn fan. Do you like corn?
I like corn.
It's good.
I love corn.
Sometimes it gets in your teeth when you eat it off the
does.
cob.
Everything does, though, but
It's true.
it's delicious.
It is.
It's not that nutritious, though, for you.
Yeah, it's one of those vegetables that
You're like, hey, I'm eating vegetables.
I'm eating
You're
vegetables.
eating
No, you're not.
corn,
You're eating
dude.
corn.
Settle down. And you're eating mashed potatoes.
Potatoes and corn,
Corn.
like, hey, they grow on the ground. Those are vegetables,
They're-
right? No, they don't count.
They count,
Don't
but
count.
they're just not great.
Yeah. I mean, like wheat grows in the ground, yet when they make it into a baguette, it's no longer really that healthy anymore.
Correct. Hector says being gullible comes with being a boomer. Paul's not a boomer, and he fell for that one too.
It's true.
I think we just wanted it to be real. The thought of them laying side by side, like, night, buddy. Good night, pal. Let's go kick some ass tomorrow was too much.
Sweet, actually.
Yeah, it is sweet.
There's like something touching about
There
the
is.
fact that they would room together.
Yes,
but there's no. It
they
would
don't
make
have to.
It would make no sense though. Why would those two guys not have their own?
I know.
Pretty spectacular.
Actually, why
hotel
wouldn't they have their
rooms?
own giant homes like to be in the whole time?
All right. I have a real or fake involving a sport that you would never have thought.
You mean don't do this?
I'm sorry, I don't do this involving a sport you never would have thought you would gamble on, but they want you to be able to gamble on it.
I want to talk about Sean Kemp and how it is what a story that has emerged about Sean Kemp, former NBA star.
All right, we'll get to that coming up. Don't Do This is next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic. Be back with more on 97.3 The Fan. None of us like this throwback open for Don't Do This. Can we just can it? Do we have to play it because it's Throwback Thursday?
Yeah,
it's
we
like
do.
in the
I think it's
like
in the radio
it's
rules.
Like in the rules
it's a reminder
of how
that
things.
this is it's fitting that it's been Don't Do This. This is like our Don't Do This.
Yeah,
we
it's
let
true.
this we let this run. This ran for months.
Tell me I'm a bad boy. I'm a
Oh,
bad
from
boy.
a bad boy. Just tell me I'm a bad boy.
It gives me. It just makes me sick every time I hear it.
Don't do this.
Who made that open for us? Was that Tommy Howell or someone
Don't worry
back
about
in the
it.
What
day?
name?
Ooh.
Don't worry about it.
All right, this is a pre-do this. Do remember to sign up for the Ben and Woods Open
Yes.
on March 22nd. That's when slots go on sale for our golf tournament, which will take place Thursday, April 6th at the Rancho Bernardo Inn. Thank you to our sponsors, including Maestro Dobel Tequila and Bushmills Irish Whiskey. It sounds like we're going to have a good time
It is on.
out at RBN on April 6th.
I cannot wait for the Ben and Woods Open.
All right, I will start with something that just sounds like, an obviously very bad idea that will lead to a huge problem. But WWE is in talks with state gambling regulators. They would like to legalize betting on wrestling matches.
How does that work?
That's the big question. How does that work? Well, they say they would have to change some of their procedures and not reveal even to the actors, the wrestlers, who wins their matches until right before the start of the match. So they'd still be scripted like wrestling. Sorry to peel back the curtain there, but professional wrestling is fake.
What?
Yes. And they're scripted who wins.
No.
But they want people to be able to bet on the matches as they are watching them, even though they are deciding beforehand who is going to win. Obviously opens up a very big can of worms for potential abuse.
So just one like small group of people
a very,
high up at
a
WWE
very closed group of people
will
know
know
the results of the match in advance, and then only at the last minute will they let everybody know how it ends so they can actually perform it
how does
correctly out in the ring.
I don't know, but I would imagine it's so scripted out that like wrestler A knows that he's going to lose to wrestler B with these moves at this point in the match.
That's what I was
right?
thinking too. I mean,
Like,
like
how do
now
you
they do have a lot of
choreograph the entire-
reversals at the end. They say, okay, here's your choreography right up to the last 15 seconds, and then here's what happens at the end. And
So
they
you
just tell them the last
like
hour
you think
before.
you're going to kick out of
Yeah.
the pin on this one. Actually, you're going to that's it.
You actually
You
win
actually
or you
win.
actually lose here because
Huh.
they can do that. They're talking right now to Colorado and Michigan, but this is something they'd like to have everybody be able to do. Now, if it becomes legalized, it would open the door to other gambling things, like gambling on like what TV character is going to die on an upcoming episode, things like that as well, that are scripted and not, a spontaneous, impromptu like sporting event with a random or unpredictable result. I would not want to bet on something that I knew was scripted, though.
Yeah, I don't think I could either. I don't think I could. I don't think I would. But I know a lot of people out there love wrestling more than I have ever imagined. Many, many of my closest dear friends are like madly in love with wrestling.
So their example is people bet on the Oscars.
Yeah.
And those results are known by
that's true.
someone
Somebody
beforehand.
knows.
Usually it's the accounting firm of, Ernst and Young.
Deloitte and Touche.
Whoever they bring the accountant out that has, hey, this is the only person who knows the results. But someone knows the results and theoretically could have been betting on them because they do post odds at certain online casinos about, Oscars, which are this Sunday, by the way, on ABC 10.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Cheap plug there.
Yep.
I will keep going on Don't Do This. A former NBA star, I'd say superstar even back in the day, Sean Kemp, one of the most well-known basketball players of his era. Maybe always not for his actions on the court, but
Paulie, were you old enough to watch Sean Kemp?
Oh yeah,
growing up?
I've met him.
yeah.
I've met him several times.
Have you?
You've
Yeah.
met him several times.
Yeah. He's very active in the basketball community up in Seattle still. Checkered past.
Checkered.
Nice guy.
nice enough guy, yeah.
But
He the headline came out yesterday, Sean Kemp involved in drive-by shooting. I went, oh no. So I read a little bit more about the story. So he fired a gun during a parking lot altercation prior to his felony arrest. 53-year-old Sean Kemp approached the vehicle, pointed his firearm, appearing to yell something before pulling the trigger at least once outside a Tacoma, Washington shopping mall about 2 p.m. in the afternoon yesterday. So more has come out about the story, Ben, and it was apparently someone had broken into his car and stolen some of his items. He then tracked, including his cell phone. So he then tracked his cell phone to that location and went and confronted the guy. And apparently, the police are now involved, and it could be a case of self-defense. They're trying to get to the bottom of it right now, but I think some of the reports are that he was drawn down on and pulled his gun in self-defense. It's scary, man. Like, road rage type stuff. I've dialed back my.
I've
dialed it
even
way
if
back.
that's 100% true, to go in a public place with a gun to try to get it
To
back,
get your stuff back,
is still not a good idea.
Well, and
you're supposed to contact the authorities and let them handle it.
Really think about it. Like yourself, if somebody wants to steal my cell phone and my stuff, have a ball.
What would you do?
Have a ball. I'd call the cops and say, hey,
if you had find my iPhone on it and you knew exactly where your stolen iPhone or whatever was,
it would be tempting to go and see what's going on at least.
Yeah.
But also,
I get that.
It's stories like this that give me great pause to say, I'm going to go down to Kohl's and grab this guy as he's walking out. Like, I don't know what this guy, obviously he's breaking into cars, and it's risk reward. It's my phone. I can replace my phone. I can't replace my life. If he shoots me in the gut or something, like, forget it. It's not worth it. So
glad you brought up the road rage thing too, man.
I've way dialed mine back.
Right there with you.
Way dialed it back.
Just the way the world is today. You do not know.
And I'm just kind of
what's the end game there?
End game? Yeah, death.
Guy cuts you off. You honk at him. You flip him off or something. Yeah. You don't know what he's.
You don't know. It's skeeved out, man. It skeeves me out. Things are so tumultuous right now. So
I always try to avoid confrontation when I can.
I know.
All right, finally, this really shouldn't be a doo-doo this, but because we were talking about the story yesterday.
DD mega doo-doo.
This is doo-doo this for us.
It's a doo-doo this for Syracuse, that they needed to get Jim Boeheim out as head coach.
Yeah.
It could have easily been handled in a much more elegant way. After 47 seasons, second most wins in Division I college coaching history, behind only Mike Krzyzewski, national championship win. He's a college basketball Hall of Famer. You should be able to go out on your own terms, but when you've resisted probably, I would imagine, a number of hints from your department, like, hey, doesn't retirement sound good, coach?
You don't really want to work here anymore, do you?
So eventually Syracuse just announced it, that after they lost to Wake Forest in the ACC tournament yesterday, that Jim Boeheim will not be returning as the men's basketball coach. So, of course, everyone goes and asks, "Oh, you're finally retiring, coach?" And it was no, he really would not. He would not say that he retired. He actually basically intimated that he was fired by Syracuse after 47 years as the head coach, because he would say, like, it's up to the school whether I coach or not. It's always the university's decision if I'm back as the head coach. Can you imagine, like, if San Diego State had to fire Steve Fisher at some point? It's that. It's
dude.
just,
Coach K.
They wanted to make it as probably a celebration, and like, okay, at some point we do have to move on, but let's honor him for his amazing accomplishments. And instead ended up as this very awkward, grumpy news conference after a loss to Wake Forest in the ACC tournament.
It's funny because I was telling you guys this morning, you both have authority. When I'm done and I've lost it, you guys can push me out the door. What I don't want to be is the guy hanging around. There's many cautionary tales in this town of the hangers on. And when my time has come, Ben, show me the door or take me out to pasture, old Yeller style.
And they're keeping it in the family. His 12-year assistant, Adrian Autry, is going to take over as head coach. So it's not like
you say his 12-year-old son.
No,
going to take
12 years as an assistant head coach.
His son just played for him.
Because that would be
buddy. The
That
Aztecs,
guy,
yeah.
that guy
He
buried
torched the Aztecs.
Oh my God.
yeah, Boeheim,
Never forget that name.
I
Buddy
hate the Boeheim family.
aircraft carrier game, NCAA tournament game. Aztecs did not fare well against that zone defense of Jim Boeheim. But now, the last couple of years, Syracuse has kind of gone downhill. And I think part of it is there's so many good shooters now in college sports that zone defense
Doesn't
might
work.
not be working the way it used to. Now, against poor shooting Aztecs teams, it worked really well, especially outdoors where the wind is blowing. But nowadays, it just doesn't seem to be as effective. I wonder if they'll switch out of the zone with a new coach, or if they'll stick with it because it's an assistant of Boeheim and remain one of the only teams that only run zone defense in college basketball.
It's like at some point you gotta switch it up a little bit. You don't want to be known for that, right? Yeah,
Probably not.
The new guy is like, oh God, do I have to keep doing this if I really don't want to do this? But yeah, he's out.
And that's mostly a don't do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
So we've got something fun planned on Saturday. We'll let you know what we are going to be out and about in the community doing, and we'll get a little help to talk about it as well. All coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Get your coat and come outside. I wanna take you for a ride on into town.
Ben and Woods on The Fan.
Eli's so desperate
so
to get
bad.
in any sort of zinger point on Peyton.
Peyton, tell him about your last basketball game. Remember that one when you had your last game and you missed that shot? I want to die. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. Hey, remember that time you missed that putt?
Listen to Ben and Woods weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
This former science with an Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. PGA Tour player James Hahn was refreshingly candid in discussing the tour's recently unveiled structural and financial incentive changes. We've been talking about money for the last 2 years, Hahn said. For them not to say that's not the #1 reason for making these changes is very, very hypocritical. Everything's about money. We all know that. I'm Boomer Esiason.
This March, take your first shot at college hoops with FanDuel Sportsbook and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right. Just bet $20 on the bracket and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting everything from the money line to point spreads to that 5 versus 12 seed matchup you've been eyeing. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. There's no better place to bet the tournament than FanDuel Sportsbook. Sign up today by going to FanDuel.com/win and make every moment more with FanDuel all tournament long.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable sportsbook bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP Louisiana. Visit MDGamblingHelp.org in Maryland. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. 1-800-522-4700 Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net West Virginia.
Hi guys, it's Mark with Ocean View Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our WAVE technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but will also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 619-693-3333. That's 619-693-3333. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your life back. Call Ocean View Medical Clinic now to qualify. 619-693-3333. 619-693-3333.
Hey guys, Woodsy here. Padres spring training is back. Tune in to 97.3 The Fan each weekday this week for the cue to call in and win tickets to a game and qualify to win the grand prize of a flyaway trip for two. Made possible by Peoria Sports Complex. Visit PeoriaBaseball.com.
Coach Quintero here. I wanted to tell you about my friends at Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad, because they're not just any dealership. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad is a different kind of dealership. They're the dealer whose goal is not to outsell the competition or make the most money, but rather to be a solid community partner and deliver excellent service, fair pricing, and satisfied customers. And for 2023, they've got tons of new inventory. They want to help you save gas with a new Chevrolet electric vehicle or one of the Chevrolet's best-selling Silverado trucks. But don't just take it from me. Let's go to the phones.
Hey, Coach. Joe Musgrove here. When I needed a new Chevrolet, I visited my friends at Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Tommy and the boys have a fantastic selection of Chevrolets and always treat customers like family.
So there you have it. Stop in and let them know the Coach and Joe sent you, or visit them online. Shop anytime at Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad.com. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. For spring cleaning, make your own cleaning products from baking soda and vinegar. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Visit 5hourenergy.com. Remember college? 5 Hour Energy got you through. The energized feeling you relied on back then still works today. Rediscover 5 Hour Energy. It'll get you through again. Visit 5hourenergy.com.
Paulie, playing a little Cure coming back. Big news this morning for me. Cure is coming to San Diego on May.
Is it just Cure or is it The Cure?
The Cure.
The Cure.
Yeah. At NICU Amphitheater. That's North Island Credit Union, not the NICU. Like
the
at the
neonatal
hospital.
intensive care
Correct.
unit.
That would be the Cure at a neonatal intensive care unit. Would be an intimate show, and one I would like to see.
Which one? I the sponsorships confuse me. Which one is the one down in Chula Vista? Which one's the one at San Diego State?
So I believe the North Island Credit Union is
the one in Chula Vista.
That's the one in Chula Vista now. It used to be like Sleep Train and Coors.
It
And,
was Cricket when I first moved down
Crickets,
there.
yes.
Cricket Wireless
And then
amphitheater.
but the one at San Diego State, which was just the open air amphitheater,
That's how
also
I
has
always know it.
the Oaks.
It also has a bank sponsored name now, I believe as well.
So, but yes, the Cure coming here on May 20th.
Oh, it's the Cal Coast Credit
right.
Union Amphitheater.
I will be in full. I will be in my element at that Cure show. Probably have to go by myself, but that's fine.
Sounds like fun.
Down to do it.
Speaking of going out into the community for
wild.
shows, the wild, we're all going to be doing it as a show. I'll let you know what we'll be up to this weekend after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Gomez Trial Attorney. Seriously injured, get a real trial attorney. Get Gomez. Got a few people out here that might need to get their cars in for some servicing. Stalled car on the northbound side of the 5 right before Main and Division in the center divide. Also in the North County, stall blocking the right lane of the Carmel Mountain off-ramp northbound 15, and a stall blocking the HOV lane on southbound 15 near Villa Rancho. If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, Gomez Trial Attorneys is ready to fight for you all the way to trial. Get a real trial lawyer. Get Gomez. Call 833. Get Gomez. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I'm actually pretty excited about this. I got an invitation from, what was it, Justin? Invited us to attend in one of those Sequan sideline or end line suites, the Loyal season opener Saturday night at Torero Stadium at USD. And we all said, let's do it as a show. We're going to go out and get an up close view at this year's Loyal team as they kick off the USL season.
People are, it's just rabid. A lot of my dear friends, big Loyal supporters. I've yet to make it to a game because I am a turd. But I will be here. I will go into the open. I'm excited to check it off, to check the box finally.
Now, as a sportscaster in town, I know some details about the Loyal, but I probably could get a little more information before we actually head down and take in a match as fans, which is why our friend Scuba Steve from the Locals is on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline to help us prepare for the Loyal opener this Saturday night at Torero Stadium. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. How are you doing?
Good, man. I know you're not sleeping already. That's how excited you are.
Definitely. I'm super excited. Yeah, year 4.
Year 4 of the Loyal. New coach?
Yeah, I met him.
You did?
Yeah, Nate Miller replacing Landon Donovan. They didn't fire Landon, though, Steve. He kind of bumped up to the higher up front office area.
Yeah, and the way the club kind of, put that out there is he was basically doing 2 jobs. He was kind of executive vice president of soccer operations, and he was also head coach and doing a lot of that stuff. And, I think it's just a reduction of, spreading his time and focusing more on doing specific things. And I think that there was a lot to be said. Landon said of himself that Nate did a lot of the tactics and coaching and stuff behind the scenes anyway. So I'm not expecting a whole lot to change as far as tactics and how the team plays. But yeah, it will be interesting to, we won't be seeing Landon on the sideline anymore, and Nate will be calling the shots formally. So yeah, it'll be a little bit different, but I don't expect a little bit, too much about how the team plays. And, sometimes you get a new manager and it completely changes the club, but I don't think that's going to happen with what happened this offseason.
So one of the reasons I love having Steve on is because he takes, because we are such, rubes. I've already used it this morning, but I can use it again when it comes to soccer. We're rubes, and the passion that Steve has, he's very patient. He's like a dad. He's like a dad with 3 little kids that have a bunch of questions and don't really know the answers to it. He's very patient with it. So give us kind of your overarching thoughts on a couple things, actually. I mean, I know all the MSL talk is pretty interesting with San Diego being one of 2. And really,
MLS.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
MSL.
MLS. All the see what I'm talking about? Rubes. All the MLS talk coming. No. MLS. God dang it. No,
it's like MLB, like the
MBL,
sport that we talk about all the time.
Major Baseball League.
But it's Major League Soccer.
So, yes, Major League Soccer coming to town. Give us kind of your perspective. I know we talked a little bit about Twitter. Is it a nerve-wracking time to be a Loyal fan?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously those rumors, and they're very, they're out there from everything that I can tell. It's real. I mean, I think that there's been a couple groups that have come into town and want to make this happen, but this one seems really into it and really interested. And, is it exciting? Yeah, sure. But it's also, things could fall apart easily here quickly because there's just a lot to figure out. Right. So my kind of focus with Loyal and MLS and that whole situation is to enjoy the team we have now. Like we have a really good team. We were second in the Western Conference last year. And then, we kind of got our butt spanked in the playoffs, but we had a good team. It was a great season. And I think we've made some notable improvements this off season. And it's kind of just like focus on the here and now and grow the community and grow the fan base at the level we can. Right. Because you might be saying, well, that's, in the future, that might be the long-term goal, but right now the short-term goal and what's right in front of us is all we can focus on. And that's kind of where I'm looking. And I think a lot of my fellow loyal supporters are as well.
Steve, I think I read somewhere that 15 of the 20 players from last season are back, including some of the leading scorers like Evan Conway and Tumi Moshibane. But the improvements you're talking about, the name that stands out to me, having been around for a while, is Joe Corona. Former local star, played for the Cholos, has played around the world. How big of a difference? I mean, is he still in that stage of his career where he's going to make a big impact, or is he more of a name that might draw some fans to the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to make an impact. I think that he's still got a lot left in him. It might seem like, going from, he was in MLS, I think early last season with the Galaxy, and maybe he wasn't playing so much, and he moved over to Sweden, and I think he had some game time, but, you might think, a move to USL second division American soccer, that might be a step down, but at the same time, Landon said it himself, that the quality here at USL really isn't that different than, say the lower ends of MLS. So I think there's a lot left. He's had some bad luck with injuries, so hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully that, he's recovered from those injuries and he's still got some running left in him. I know he's, in his early 30s, and you might think, oh, that's young, but sometimes in soccer, it's just, you start so young at 16 years old as a professional, and it's a grind. It's like a 9-month season of running 7 miles a game, week in, week out, plus training. Like, it's a grind. So you see a lot of players, 31, 32, 33, just kind of lose their legs behind them. But I'm really hopeful. I'm really excited to see Joe. I think the way that he could just control the midfield and just calm the game down and really, play within Nate's system of, kind of possessing the ball and distributing it around. And I'm really excited. I think that he's going to be a huge upgrade. And I think that there's a lot to be said about, there's still a lot of good players from last season, like you said, Ben. USL has a lot of turnover. Most of these players, across the league are on 1-year contracts, just the way the volatility of it. But, with the continuity, we've had players, Colin Martin, Charlie Adams, Grant Stoneman, Tumi Moshibane, like we've had players all 4 seasons, Elijah Martin, and that's unheard of. And I think that it's just, they fall in love with the city. They fall in love with the coach. They fall in love with their teammates, and it's stuck. And I think that some of those players are our best players. And they just fit so comfortably. So a good team you see year in, year out, you bring a lot of that continuity, and then you plug and play upgrades here and there and depth pieces here and there. You see that with baseball too, right? You get a lot of long-term players, and then you poke upgrades here and there, and it makes your team better and better. So I think we're going to have a really good season. Just continue to build on, last year's second place Western Conference finish. And then hopefully as the season goes on, we get some good form and get to hit the playoffs with the ground running.
Last thing for me, we're talking to Scuba Steve, our friend, president of the Locals, the official supporters group for the San Diego Loyal. So this is going to be our really first game. I've been a couple of times just kind of as a media member, but going as a fan, how do we maximize our fan experience at a Loyal game, Steve?
Whiskey.
So we host it's kind of a hosted tailgate on USD's campus. Go to our Twitter account at the Locals SG, and you'll see some information on it. It's kind of a hosted tailgate. USD isn't too keen about tailgating, so we do what we can. It's kind of just you get there early, have a couple beers you can buy. We'll have some games, some music, buy our scarves. Check us out, and then at the match, you guys got to come to the supporter section. You got to come bang the drums. We'll do that energy you bring to the Seals games. You got to come and join us in the supporter section. I think you'd
I'll fit right in. I just want to come see Craig Elston because I've seen videos of Craig Elston, and it's the greatest thing that you've ever seen. Like a maniac in that. Yeah, we'll be there, man. I'm excited to come, and we'll definitely come out.
Come by.
Yeah, we definitely will. We definitely will. Appreciate you. Tell your dad hello. His dad lives right across the street from me, and we've converted him. He is a true tier 1. Ron, my beloved Ron, a tier 1. What's he? Love the show today, buddy. He's my favorite. He's my favorite guy in the neighborhood by far. Thank you, bud.
All my friends that are listening all love Ron too.
He's the greatest.
I'm sure they're all cheering in there.
Yeah, we've converted him. He is now one of us. So
nice.
I appreciate it. Thank you, bud.
And
thank you very much.
Steve appearing on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. You know what I didn't ask? I have never worn a scarf.
I have
in my life.
I did.
I've never put one on. I don't think.
But you grew up in San Diego. I've used them for.
Is it just to keep your neck warm? Is that the idea?
Too. Yeah, they're. I mean, they
if
work.
If you don't have a turtleneck on, it replaces the turtleneck part.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are rocking turtlenecks anymore. It's not a great look.
The scarf is a better look.
I think so. I think it's.
Do you wrap it around or do you just let it hang?
No, I have
at a soccer game. You let it hang.
Yeah, you let it hang. But
when you're using it, when you're actually using it for warmth, in the snow or something,
I have a way to fold it the proper way.
A proper scarf folding
method.
Method.
And you pull it. Yeah, it looks cool too.
Almost like an ascot.
Kind of like an ascot. Yes. If that. Now you're like, I have worn ascots before, but I have not worn any.
Well, obviously, when you go sailing, you have to wear your ascot with your blue blazer. What are we doing here? We don't have an ascot on. Might as well not even get on the water, Woods.
They gave me one when I went out to watch the World Cup. I wore it the whole time. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. They're lunatics.
The question though was, where did that come from? Was it just people were cold at soccer games? They decided to wear scarves and it hooked on, because it makes really no sense to wear scarves in San Diego
if it's hot,
especially at a summer sport. I mean, maybe this week it'll be a little cool and chilly at night, but when they're playing in July, in a day game, scarves not necessary in San Diego.
Well, it's funny. I mean, you say that, and you see baseball players out there, and they're in compression head to toe, and I don't know what that's probably for a reason, but the fans, you don't see the fans in a lot of warm gear. I don't know what the impetus behind that is, but they love them and they'll wave.
But it's not just here. It's
everywhere.
A tradition among soccer fans.
Somebody will let
the
us
world,
know.
I think.
That's one thing I do know.
Where did the scarves thing start?
Maybe it's how you represent your team
in soccer, as opposed to wearing your team's hat in baseball. You wear your team's scarf. In soccer. People don't wear hats all over the world.
I don't know. You're asking
soccer hats. No, I guess there's no hat in soccer.
Correct, but there's no scarves. See, it's not like the players are running around in scarves. Like, I'm going to get the same.
We could all wear shin guards of our favorite players.
Yeah,
that would make more sense.
Somebody will let us know.
You guys, we just had a massive soccer fan on.
Could have asked him.
That's why I said I should have. I forgot. I wanted to ask him that question, and I forgot to ask him.
He'll tweet us.
All the sports, news, music, podcast you're looking for, you can find them all in the free Odyssey app. I think we're up to. We have 5 new podcasts. Oh, no, wait. 10 million podcasts on the Odyssey app, including Big Time Baseball with our own Tony Gwynn Jr. and John Heyman. They've got the inside scoop on what's happening from the field to the clubhouse and front office. Check out Big Time Baseball on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Jason says scarves started in Europe because they play a winter season. It's cold over there.
Right. That's just functional, though. It's a summer season here. Yeah. All right. Never mind.
Got a little Throwback Thursday coming up.
Yes.
Very monumental moment on this exact day in Ben and Woods history.
All right, it's coming up next. A history lesson on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends. We are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. We were just talking about Landon Jonovan.
Who is Landon
God.
Jonovan?
All right.
Hold on. Remix.
Never heard of Landon Jonovan.
What did I say? MSL? I'm a wreck. I don't sleep anymore. I'm like Guy Pearce in Memento. That's me, just mementoing my way through life. And Ben Higgins is here as well. But I was saying about Landon Jonovan. John Landovan. I was saying that
Don Landovan.
Yeah, Don Landovan does. He was saying how he was doing 2 jobs at once. That's what Paulie does. He's also kind of running our YouTube stream and all that. And so he's also doing the job that John Landovan is doing. Ben Higgins also has 2 jobs. 2-job guy.
Double job.
Double duty. Did you see my son coming for your...
I did. Do we have the audio there? That is...
Well, you can probably pull it up quickly.
Unbelievably cute.
Did you see it, Paulie?
Was it on your Twitter?
It was on my Twitter.
Looked like you're at the zoo.
I wasn't at the zoo. He was at the zoo with his Gaga.
But without you.
Yeah, without
But he was doing a like play-by-play at the zoo.
Yeah, he was doing a news hit. You know how they did Panda Watch?
A live shot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a live
yeah.
shot. And I think he's talking about seals in this video, but
he was doing his Brian Fantana live shot from the San Diego Zoo on Panda Watch.
I think they call it in your business a feature.
Okay.
He was doing a feature.
Yeah, feature story
at the San Diego Zoo.
Got it?
Yeah.
And when they're hungry, they just get a bite of water.
A bite of water.
And then they go play. And when they have enough energy, they can play. Then when they're tired, they can just lay on water.
Right.
And then
He's holding his hand.
He's holding his hand like
it's a microphone.
He also has doo-doo chocolate all around his face. So.
And then they get up and play. And then they can do 150 flips.
And this is who? And you are?
My name is Lauren Bo Woods. And I am on the news today.
It's my favorite thing I've ever seen.
I should use that line.
I'm Ben Higgins.
And I am on the news,
I'm on the news
today.
That's
I am on the news
That's
today.
trademarked by
I can't use that?
That's
That'd
trademarked by the Nick
be a
Carroll Woods
great-
Corporation.
That would be a great sign off at the end of the show every night. I'm Ben Higgins, and I was on the news today.
I'm Lowen Bo Woods, and I'm on the news today.
Kind of reminded me of the Apparently kid from back in the day. Did you see that YouTube video?
I
It's
don't
this
think so.
little redhead kid, and he's at like a carnival or a state fair, and he's being interviewed on the news, and he just keeps saying, and apparently we're live on the news today. I am very, very excited because I've never apparently been on the news today, apparently. It's adorable.
And I'm on the
Kid's probably 20 now.
And I'm on the news today. That's his signature tagline. But yeah, very, very sweet. And, you know, like I said, I hope that he finds a job that's better than media. I would hope, I hope more for him.
But he would be a star.
I think so.
He's
think
got that.
It's in his blood, too.
Whatever it is.
He's got his grandfather. He's got me, which, you know, could work against him in this town.
He's got his mother.
He's got his mother.
He's entertaining.
She's very entertaining.
Uncle Ben,
also entertaining. How about I was going to make fun of you today?
Were you?
Yeah.
Really?
Do you know what, by the way? Do you know what I would be calling you out for?
I have
here?
no idea.
No idea.
No, not this time.
You have some. All right, I'll say this. Twitter.
What, the college basketball tweet? No one was tweeting about it, and it was a really interesting end of the game.
This guy yesterday.
I just wanted to share.
This guy yesterday, 15 hours ago, tweets this crazy ending in the DePaul Seton Hall on a game-winning. Crazy ending in DePaul Seton Hall on a game-winning goaltending call at the buzzer that was then overturned. DePaul wins. I wrote, that is crazy.
Hey, it's conference championship week. These games are big time, and I had never seen a game end like that. So DePaul was down.
You kill me.
DePaul was down
me.
2 with 3 seconds left. They got fouled shooting a 3-pointer. The guy made all 3 of the free throws with 3 seconds left. That's clutch to begin with. So now they're up 1, but Seton Hall has the ball. The guy just sprints as fast as he can down the court, goes for the layup. As time expires, guy reaches up and like swats it away right by the basket.
Goaltending.
And they go, goaltending, basket is good. Game is over. Seton Hall wins by 1, but all the DePaul guys are going, no, it wasn't goaltending, and they go to review it, and the ball was still clearly on the way up, not on the way down. It wasn't over the cylinder. They wave it off. They take 2 points off the board, and all of a sudden DePaul wins by 1. I have never seen an ending like that.
Look at how
in a
fired
college
up
basketball
DeBen
game.
is.
DeBen. Seton Ben.
Seton Woods and DeBen.
I saw that tweet come across my feed. I go, this guy's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. You got 8 likes.
I
so
enjoy
far.
March. I wasn't going for the likes.
All right.
No one was tweeting about it. I thought, am I the only person in America who saw the ending of this game?
Yes.
Might have been.
The answer unequivocally
might have been.
Yes. You are a gem.
What's DePaul's mascot?
The Blue Devils.
Nope, that's Duke.
No, sorry. DePaul is the Deacons.
No,
the
that's
Blue
Wake
Deacons.
Forest. They're the Demon Deacons. If you combine Duke and Wake Forest, you'll get it though.
The Blue Deacons.
No, very close. The Blue Demons.
Blue Demons.
The Blue Demons.
So I told you I wanted to go to DePaul.
That's one of the Chicago schools.
Yeah, I applied there. I didn't get in. So I had to go to Loyola and be a Rambler. But I really wanted to go to DePaul. Much nicer area, much cooler. The Demons, the Blue Demons, that's cooler than a Rambler, which is a wolf.
Yeah.
So I applied that in.
Now you work with DePaul.
Now. DePaul means of Paul. I've lost it, by the way. I don't know how we got 2 hours left. I'm not going to make it. I'm just not.
Paul, why don't you take over with our Throwback Thursday?
Yes, DePaul. It sounds like an 80s. It sounds like an 80s.
DePaul mode.
You're thinking of DeBarge.
DePaul.
Oh, it's a Throwback Thursday. It's a Throwback Thursday. I was digging through the archives. We had 3 possible choices. 3 years ago, we had one of my favorites was always Woods' tattoo. The tattoo impression always killed me. 2 years ago, 2 years ago this week, you guys remember we had Keone Keela on our show, and we asked him if he remembered me from high school. We played baseball together. It was terrifying. But the winner was last year on this date. Do you remember anything significant?
March 9th. Is this when the lockout ended?
No.
Oh, okay. That's just a thought. We're still in the lockout, late in the lockout. What are we
Paulie
doing
told
right
me
now?
the other day on a phone call that we had Arsenio Hall on this show one day, and I said, I have no idea. My brain is gone.
that.
It's gone.
I think I still have a clip from that.
That's why I like this segment. This reminds me of what I've done in my life.
Yeah.
The last 5 years.
You are starring in this clip, front and center, my friend.
Shocking.
Let's
One
go.
year ago today. This hour of Better Woods brought to you by Pound Town. Head on over to Pound Town in Mission Valley today for San Diego's premier pound cakes, chocolate, lemon, strawberry, key lime, you name it, they've got it. Head on over to Pound Town today, 420 Camino de la Reina. Get yours today. Let's check traffic right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Did you notice anything different about this this liner that you
go
just...
back
It was a new one. I will admit that.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of this business before. But it sounded good. I will say that. This
that.
hour of Better Woods brought to you by Pound Town. Head on over to Pound Town in Mission Valley today for San Diego's premier pound cakes, chocolate, lemon, strawberry, key lime, you name it, they've got it. Head on over to Pound Town today, 420 Camino de la Reina. Get yours today. Let's check traffic right now on 97.3 The Fan.
You're saying that there is no... You know, I mean, businesses all think they're so clever nowadays. There probably is a pound cake store called Pound Town somewhere. I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna say that one felt kind of real to me.
That's why I did it.
You guys were bored to tears because of the lockout. We had no spring
Yes.
training. We had no baseball. And you guys were just bored and trying to come up with stuff.
You know what's funny is that next year on March 9th, we can play DePaul. Now you work with DePaul, which just laid me out. The Pound Town liner is one of our finest creations, Paulie.
Oh, that was great.
Pound Town.
Key lime.
420 Camino de la
Yeah,
Reina.
420 Camino de la Reina. But here's the thing: I get this in the
Pound
DM.
That's where I'd put my pound cake store, right there in Mission Valley.
Oh, 100%.
Centrally located, yeah.
So there's a store in England. The dollar store in England is called Pound Town because they
Right,
use
like
pounds.
Dollar Tree or the
Yeah.
99-cent only store.
It's called Pound Town, which is incredible. I get that. I've seen it. By the way, I don't really see it. I've seen it.
Are you sure it's not faked on the internet like everything else that you believe?
Could be fake. But it makes
Yes,
sense.
we do get sent that
I get
like once a week.
Like, I love you. Don't stop listening. But I've seen it.
There are a lot of these accounts because I see it on Instagram. We get somebody DMs it to us on Instagram like once a week.
Once a week.
And there's those accounts like, F Jerry is a very popular account. They just recycle the same memes.
stuff.
I'm like, this is not new. This has been around for a long time
It's
now.
been around for a decade, I think. But I think it might be real. Pound Town in Great Britain is their version of the dollar store.
We were pretty desperate for content at this time a year ago, waiting
When
for
aren't
baseball
we?
to come back.
When?
Well, we're not.
1 year later,
we're not so desperate that I did say no to this interview offer I was sent yesterday. I will.
Oh God!
I will leave the names out to protect the innocent, but. I mean, I'm usually that could be intriguing. I could probably make a case for most interview offers. Woods always says no. We're
That's
not
the
doing that.
most real thing you've ever said.
All right. Hi, Ben. Hope all is well with you these days. It's been a few years. Wanted to see if you'd be interested in talking to my client, Mike, from Zybex Sports. They have electronically timed the NFL Scouting Combine's premier event, the 40-yard dash, since 2010. Let me know if you'd like to explore this further with Mike over the next few weeks. You want us to interview the guys who run a stopwatch, essentially.
So, sir,
I couldn't come up with one I literally don't think I could come up with one question for that interview.
What do you I can't either. Honestly,
I mean,
I can't either.
So, who's the fastest guy you ever timed? Yeah, that's so-and-so. He was fast.
4-1.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. How did you get into stopwatching? Was it a hobby that you turned into
a career? You ever make a mistake?
Does a guy ever come and question you?
You
and
started
say
it too soon,
late or too soon?
They're mad at you, like they don't believe you. It's all automated now.
We do get pitched some interesting ones, and that one was not. And the thing is like I always think, man, we should have them on and see how bad it could actually be. But I don't, that's important to them, so I don't want to hurt anybody.
I know that's
feelings,
true. I mean, this is Mike's livelihood.
Yeah, timing people.
We've talked about that in the past around Super Bowl time. We always get pitched.
we get inundated.
Sometimes actually decent names, good, celebrity names, and they're hawking some weird item, and then other times it's like just the most random person selling an even more random product.
Right.
And we've talked about, you know what? Let's just put them all on. Let's just do it. But there's no way that we could.
I'd be a jerk, and I'd sound
without
like a jerk.
being a jerk.
Yeah, you'd have to be. And if you don't care, you want to be a jerk. All right, fine. There's probably a place for that. But listen, that's this guy's whole existence is timing the combines. And the funny thing is about a show like ours, we probably even mentioned the combine. I couldn't care less about the NFL combine. I mean, it's the thing in sports.
I don't know that anyone cares about it anymore. Even the teams are starting to go.
Are they starting to fizzle on it?
I mean, we just know they know so much already about all these players. And now the players, who was it? Troy Vincent was saying the other day, they want to get rid of it entirely. Players say he compared it to a slave auction, essentially, making all these guys go out and take their shirts off and do the jumping and do the running. You've watched them for 4 years in college football. You got all the tape on them imaginable. You really need to put them through this. It's mostly, they say, an excuse to knock someone's draft status or maybe pay them less than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I feel like if you're an elite player, you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. But
then they'll knock you for not doing it.
But you just got 4 years of tape on me, playing here at this prestigious college or whatever. I think for a guy maybe that's on the bubble, that like, oh no, I got to show what I'm really. I went to
a smaller school.
Yeah,
wasn't on TV a lot,
I get it.
I'm really fast. And I want to be able to show that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then there's pro days. You know, they
you
still
get pro
they send
days.
scouts everywhere anyway.
I just couldn't.
It's so overblown this time of year.
I just
so overblown.
could not care less. Oh man, he repped the 225 29 times.
We were going to take him,
That
but
should
then,
translate.
A guy had 32, so we're going to draft him instead.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't get it either.
Yeah, it feels like a big cattle call, and I've actually worked the combine.
What?
And not an NFL combine.
Okay.
I worked a referee combine. I worked a referee training camp. I made like $500 and worked a referee training
do they
camp.
test how loudly they blow their whistles?
They are like learning how to be referees, and so I like ran tape and I think I actually timed some stuff, and it was pretty funny.
What sport?
Football. Yeah,
referee.
football referees. Yeah, interesting stuff, but not really.
Practice throwing the flag.
Yeah.
You're like,
bam. Yep.
Oh man, look at the accuracy on that guy. He's
Guy's got a cannon.
Throw it right there.
So
Throw a
yeah,
flag.
we did. We passed on that interview. You guys are welcome.
How do you look in vertical stripes?
Yep.
You know, I guess sharp. Yeah. All right. We've got our Tier 1 tour continuing next as we taking a look at every Major League Baseball team one at a time in the order the Padres will be facing them. Now, we just did the Red Sox. Any idea who comes right after the Red Sox?
The East Coast swing, baby.
Yep,
the New York
Yankees. We have at least a former
We did,
converted
Red Sox.
Yankees fan here.
Well, on the schedule, the Red Sox are here at Petco Park.
Oh, and
then it's an off day, and then we had yesterday was the Nationals.
Right.
And then
that's
it's
right.
the
Red
Yankees.
Sox Nationals.
There's a national series in between the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Red Sox are here, yeah.
Red Sox are here over the weekend,
And
and
then
then,
the
off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in May, in DC, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yep.
and then a weekend series against the Yankees.
Ooh, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Bronx.
My missus will be there. She's going to that series in New Yankee Stadium.
All right. They one of the only two teams I know that spends more than the Padres this year. We'll talk about the New York Yankees on our Tier 1 tour that is coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. for our Tier 1 tour as we take a look at every Padres opponent this year. For the first time, it is every team in baseball. They will face
pretty cool
each of the other 29 squads, including the New York Yankees, who are next up in our Tier 1 tour. And only the Mets and the Yankees have a higher payroll than the Padres this year. So what are the Yankees getting for all their millions?
God, I feel like the Padres have done more with their money than the Yankees have done with their money.
Well,
Don't you?
The Yankees have put more of their money into pitching,
Yeah,
compared to the Padres, who have put more into their lineup.
Just in 2 pitchers, though.
True. Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon. They've got Nestor Cortez, who had a really good year last year. They have Luis Severino, and then they have some depth, Frankie Montas, and some other guys.
Montas is out.
Is he out?
He's going to be out for a long
So
time.
they still have some depth there.
Domingo
though, but,
Herman.
Yep.
They've got Clark Schmidt is vying for the 5th spot. I'm not quite so. I mean, again, it's one of those. They're in that position, Ben, where every year they're like, "Oh, these guys are winning 102 games," and I haven't really seen that from them recently. I don't think they're a bad team by any stretch. They're not. I think they're going to be a fine team. They just assume they're going to run away with the East, and I just don't see it. I certainly don't see it like I used to see it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, yeah, there's nobody even close talent-wise. Now you look around baseball, and you're like, well, yeah, the Blue Jays, if they figure it out, could be really, really good. Same division. Red Sox you're not too worried about. The Rays are kind of a thorn in their side for years. The Astros are obviously really, really strong still. I don't think they're any longer the class of the AL.
Obviously, they spent a ton of money to just keep the guys that they had before in Judge and Rizzo.
Yeah.
To remain in the lineup, and that's something.
There's something to be said for that.
Yes, it's just harder to get excited. Like, well, how did we get better in the lineup?
Yeah.
Well, we got these guys back. Yeah, but you already had them last year.
Yeah.
So
and by the way, Judge had a
good season,
like a once in a career season.
He had a good year.
So it's like, Aaron Judge is probably going to suffer some decline this year. That's if you want to talk about the Yankees, that's the guy, man. I don't know how you could be a baseball fan and hate Aaron Judge. I mean, he is as good of a dude as there is. Stayed on the field last year, played a couple different positions out there. And by the way, pretty underrated defensive outfielder for the New York Yankees. And obviously the big slugger, good kid, the whole thing. But yeah, I think the Rizzo move was good for them, but they're still running Josh Donaldson out there, Ben. They're running Aaron Hicks out there still.
I think Stanton is the wild card.
Yeah.
They need him to have a good year. It's been a while. He's gotten on these lists as the most overpaid players in baseball, worst contracts in baseball. And, there's still, I think, a good player in there. So they need him to have kind of a full season, try to stay healthy,
Certainly
put up some numbers.
Certainly a handsome player in there, that's for sure.
And that'll offset whatever, step back that Aaron Judge almost certainly has to have from the year before. Gleyber Torres is just he's just been around for a while now. Feels like one of those Yankees for life now.
Yeah.
Just is there every year, probably will be their leadoff guy. I think the pickup last year, very sneaky pickup of Harrison Bader.
Mm-hmm.
Got him while he was injured.
Yep.
From the Cardinals. Everyone going, what are you doing?
Well, they traded a good pitcher for him.
They did.
too.
And everyone's going, what are you doing? But now it feels like, okay, they were looking ahead, and now they've got, Harrison Bader as potential starter, and they're in center field for them. And that seems like a lineup upgrade that they really didn't have for most of last season.
And it's funny, man. You look at a team with Cole and Rodon anchoring the top of the rotation. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch, righty lefty.
Built for the playoffs. But
after that, there's a few question marks, and I think that's fair to say of a lot of teams in baseball. You got a couple of guys at the top, and then we'll see if guys can round into form. But yeah, I just you look around that squad and you go, okay. I mean, I could definitely see them winning 100 games. I could also see them not, because they've got a couple of guys. Like shortstop has really been an issue for them. But they got a couple of really good prospects. So we'll see who makes the squad out of spring training. And Aaron Boone, he just is like little Dave Roberts in him, good, talented team, high payroll, gets there and nope, just kind of doesn't do much once the playoffs hit. So we'll see. I imagine it's probably going to be more of the same.
Certainly going to be one of the more talked about series in baseball when the Padres go to Yankee Stadium. Again, Paulie mentioned it, Friday, May 26th, and then Saturday, May 27th, Sunday, May 28th. 3-game series in the middle section of a 3-city East Coast road trip for the Padres at the end of the month of May.
Man, I was very excited about that trip.
DC, New York, and then they go down to Miami. If I was ever able to travel for an entire road trip,
the whole road trip,
would be the one.
That'd be pretty
And,
solid.
and
You
May
could see a
is
bunch.
not the worst time. It's a
No.
little before it gets really hot and sticky and humid over
Yeah.
there. That's an interesting, fun kind of road trip for the Padres for the East Coast.
I'm sure Odyssey would fit the bill. For
There's
us to
Adam
hit
right
the
there.
road.
Ask him. Open the door.
Adam? No.
Adam.
What is he doing? He's standing outside the studio.
What's he eating?
A bagel.
Hey, will you pay
wanna go
will
on
you
the
pay
road
for
trip.
us to go on the road with the Padres in May?
We'll hit the DC,
Yankees,
and then we'll
Miami.
go down to Miami. Just walks out.
Just seems like a fun trip. Good time of year to
Good
go to
talk.
the East Coast. No?
Good talk.
All right.
All right.
Guess we're not going on that trip, guys. But,
Or any
hey, it was
trip.
worth asking. Hey,
We
you got to
tried.
shoot your shot, as they say. All right, we have not really checked in Peoria much. We talked a little Padres earlier, but we'll have Sammy spring training when we come back to see what's going on in Arizona right now as the Padres continue on without a lot of their WBC guys. We're actually 3 weeks away from opening day from today.
Oh my God.
3 weeks remaining in spring training.
I'm taking a 2-week vacation.
Sammy's probably going, I have to be here another 3
more weeks in
3
Peoria.
weeks in Peoria. We'll check in with Sammy, see if he got some me time yesterday that we instructed him to do. Coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Got a lineup out for the Padres Guardians game this afternoon in Goodyear, Arizona. Fernando Tatis Jr. will lead off, going to be the designated hitter today. Maybe this is the day for that first hit of spring training.
Well,
Rougned Odor
hang
batting
on.
second, playing second. What?
Let's bet.
Over, under.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
1/2 hit.
Half a hit.
Correct.
I'll take the over.
Damn it. I guess it's your turn to pick. All right, I'll take the under.
All right.
Half a hit. He can't continue to go over. It's too good.
He's DHing, so all he has to do is hit. He's
Just
batting
hit.
first. So
Batting
he
first,
might,
he'll get at least
he'll get a
three.
third, maybe even a
maybe.
fourth at bat. Who knows? He's going to get one today.
You think he's going to get one?
He's going to get one today.
Okay.
So I'll go over.
All right, so I'm plus 10 on you.
Yeah, you've got your house money.
Breaking
Okay.
news: Stephen Woods rooting against Fernando
Tatis.
Tatis Jr.
Well, only one
Shameful.
of us.
Shameful.
Only
Woods.
one of us
Shameful.
is concerned about Fernando Tatis Jr., and it isn't me.
Austin Nola batting third, doing the catching. So it sounds like he is recovered from his intestinal, abdominal issues. Matt Carpenter cleaning up, playing first base. David Dahl back out there in right field, batting fifth. Jose Azocar, center field, batting sixth. Tim Lopes is
I like
the
that
shortstop.
kid, man.
Yeah.
Hit a bomb yesterday.
Didn't know much about Tim Lopes before spring, but gotten to see a bit of him this year. Taylor Colway, who's hitting well this spring as well. He'll bat eighth and play left field. And good old Jansen Whitty back out there at third base, batting ninth, with Michael Waka on the mound against the Guardians, making his first Cactus League start for the San Diego Padres. That's 12:05 this afternoon.
Beautiful. I guess I said earlier I don't want to watch because I'm kind of over it, ready for the season, but I'm going to watch.
I don't-
Fernando's leading off.
Don't know if it's televised
cool.
today because it's away and it's midweek.
Prior Faithful just tweeted us. So it begins, Ben and Woods. Carlos Rodon has a mild forearm strain. No throwing for 7 to 10 days. Will start season late. Yeah, it's been a thing.
I mean, Padres have a kettlebell injury already, too. It's a thing for everybody in baseball.
That is true.
You can't get through a season without a good handful of injuries in Major League Baseball. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the world-famous Bob Opedic mattresses, with all the comfort and quality of a national mattress brand for half the price. No matter your budget, there's a Bob Opedic Memory Foam Hybrid or Hybrid Plus mattress for you. Check them out at mybobs.com. We're going to check traffic, and then we got Sammy Spring Training standing by in Peoria next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, or 15-minute instant drive-thru oil change. Still a few problem spots here. One of them is this crash on the northbound side of the 805 just past Balboa. It looks like that has got the left lanes blocked. Also traveling on westbound King Freeway, accident here near the 805, but you got this other accident up ahead just before 28th Street. Those vehicles are over to the right shoulder. And traveling on the eastbound 8 just before the 163, reports of some sort of debris in the fast lane. Also keep in mind, eastbound side of the 8, you're going to find 2 right lanes blocked between Grossmont Center and West Main Street, all due to a paving project Caltrans got going on. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline to drive the oil change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for discounts and locations nearest you. Valvoline Oil Change Centers are open 7 days a week. Kelly Danik with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And out we go on our premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Sammy Spring Training checking in from Arizona. 3 weeks from opening day, Sammy. Just 3 more weeks. That's only 21 more. No, that's only 63 more meals in Peoria, Arizona before you get to come home.
Well, I will say this morning I went to a very nice locally owned coffee shop. I enjoyed a hot vanilla latte, a bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant. Had plenty of time to get to the ballpark. I was up bright and early, which I always am, but left some extra time this morning. And it was lovely. So I don't know about you guys, but, you're looking to vacation, come on out to Peoria. It's a wonderful time.
Yeah, Paulie and I did a couple weeks in Peoria already this season. Ben takes a little different type of vacation when he vacations, mostly Hawaii every other week or so. And now South Carolina, North Carolina.
North Carolina is my vacation number one this year.
Yeah, vacation number one. So a little bit different, Sammy, but I know you're you're like me, you're itching to get the regular season going. Fernando Tatis Jr. is probably ready to stop taking offers. Nobody's really concerned about it. We talked about it yesterday, but he's in the lineup again. He's leading off DH today. Ben thinks today is the day that he gets off the schneid.
Well, I will say that he hit a ball pretty hard to left field yesterday. So that was certainly a good sign. The other good sign from yesterday was right field. I mean, he went back on a ball nicely. He had a line drive that was knuckling, made a nice play on. I know it's spring training, it's Cactus League. We're looking at these little plays that in the big scheme of things don't mean a whole lot, but that's what we do at this point of spring training. So those are the positives with Fernando. Bob Melvin, he spoke about 10 minutes ago and was asked about Fernando a little bit and maintains that they are not worried about him. And this is part of the process. So, look, number one, he's had a handful of at-bats after, we've talked about this. I sound like a broken record, but a handful of at-bats after not playing in environments like this for a long time. And, oh, by the way, having 3 separate surgeries.
Yep.
And the other part is that he has almost 3 weeks left in spring training. He's got then 15 minor league rehab games, presumably after that, after, extended spring training here. So again, I think today is notable in the sense that this is the first time he's playing back-to-back days. So if you want to just look at it from the progression of Fernando towards April 20th, actually today is a fairly significant day because it's the first time during the Cactus League season that he's playing in back-to-back days. So again, I feel like most of the fans out there understand this, but it's a process, and I would not look too much into the results at all. And I have a feeling when Fernando gets going, when that first hit drops, it will be the first of many, probably this spring. And look, it's a process, and I think it is what it is. It will be okay.
How much are players, do you get the sense, talking about the WBC and following it, the ones that aren't playing in it but are still back at spring training, or are they're just focused on what they're doing and letting the WBC happen somewhere else?
Yeah, I know yesterday whatever game was on yesterday morning, it wasn't obviously the Netherlands, Cuba one was the first one. It was the second game from Taiwan. Whatever game that was yesterday, there were a group of players watching it. I didn't hear a ton from anybody. There weren't a ton of guys in the clubhouse when we were in there this morning to begin with, but I didn't hear a ton like anybody say anything about the Bogarts home run or Brett Sullivan driving in a home run for Team Italy. But I know they're watching. I mean, I know that they're watching, and they're into it, and they're obviously interested in how their teammates are doing. It would be impossible not to. I mean, when you think about how we're into it and we're watching, I mean, they're certainly keeping an eye on it as well. I think it's a balance, right, between focusing on what you have to do here and focusing on the WBC. And it's something we've talked about, the players that are participating in the WBC, that balance of going and doing their business over there and then having to come back here and get right back into the Major League Baseball swing of things with just a week or so to go until opening day. So I think they have an eye on it. I didn't hear anything specifically today, like about the Bogarts home run, but I'll be sure to keep an eye on that and ask around, especially once Team Dominican Republic gets going and Manny's involved and Soto's involved and Cruz is as well, and Nick Martinez and Bill Krismat pitching here in Phoenix over the weekend is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm sure they're keeping a pretty close eye on it.
Talking to Sammy Spring Training out in Peoria, Arizona, here on Ben and Woods this morning. And forgive my ignorance, is Adam Engel still alive, or is he alive?
Yeah, I mean, he is. Well, yes, he is. And he took at-bats in the same simulated game or live batting practice, whatever you want to call it, that Juan Soto participated in yesterday. And he continues to do that. It sounds like he's getting closer. I haven't heard much on him the last few days as far as if he's going to start a running progression of some kind or if he started that. But it's a good question, Woodsy, because he's somebody on a major league contract. And the sense I get is that, number one, the injury and the time away from not playing in these spring training games does not hurt his chances to make the team. And also, by the way, he signed a major league deal, which a few of the other guys that are in this conversation do not have. So I think that gives Adam Engel, for that reason, and also the fact that he has a track record in the major leagues and what he can do defensively, I think there's still a very, very good chance that Adam Engel makes this team. He is taking at bats, but I'm not totally sure on the running yet. That would be something maybe tomorrow I'll ask Bob Melvin and see where he's at.
That's got to be a tough spot, man, and I know, again, the minor league deal versus the major league deal makes it a little bit different, but you get an opportunity with a team and strain your calf or your knee or whatever it was with Adam Engel, and you see David Dahl out there, getting a ton of ABs. You see Azokar out there getting a ton of ABs as well, and you're like, oh, man, this is and it's funny, though, that you say it's probably not going to hurt his chances of making the team.
I mean, I think based on what Bob Melvin has said about it and the tone of which he said it, I really do feel like Engel will probably end up making this team. I feel pretty confident saying that, especially at the start of the year when there will be another extra spot with Fernando not there. But you're right. I mean, it's allowed the opportunity for guys like Dahl and guys like Jose Azokar, who's had some nice moments this spring, had a big hit yesterday. Has hit the ball hard, and I think Bob Melvin has been really positive about him as well and some of the progress that he's made since last season. You're right. It's given other guys the opportunity. So, for somebody like David Dahl, we've talked about him a lot. It's really hard to ignore what he's done, but I don't get the sense that that it is as much of a tryout for Engel as it is for the other guys we just mentioned. Even if he were, healthy and playing in these games, I think the Padres may look at Engel a little differently than they look at Dahl and Azokar when you talk about the competition for these spots. Could I end up being wrong on the opening day roster? I suppose. Adam Engel also has to be healthy, which he has not been yet, over the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think it's a pretty good bet that Engel is going to be on this opening day roster. I do.
I agree with you, Sammy, which makes it interesting that the Padres were able to get guys like Dahl and Rougned Odor now to come into camp because, if Engel makes the team and when Tatis is back, that leaves essentially like one spot on a 26-man roster that's open.
Yeah.
And, suggested, well, if you're David Dahl, why not go to a team that is kind of bad, that where, your skills look like you might start and play a ton. And I know he talked about it recently. He goes, you know what? I want to win. And I know that it might be harder to make the team, but I want to be in a team that has a chance to win a World Series. They also said a lot of those teams that are bad because they don't want to pay veteran players, just to fill in. So he feels like the Padres would be willing to do that if he impresses.
If he performs, yeah.
And performs during spring training. But I thought it was an interesting dynamic. I saw it suggested. I didn't think Rougned Odor had any hope of making the team, but said no, he's legitimately in the competition for that last roster spot, probably.
Wow. Yeah, it is interesting, and I read that same article, and I thought the comments were interesting as well. When I think it was David Dahl who said it, like you said, framed it like that, where a team that is not one that has the aspirations the Padres do, maybe actually less willing to play somebody like a David Dahl over just some really young players out of their system. But a team in the Padres, I mean, there's a number one goal here, and that's to win. So whoever gives them the best chance to do that, they're more willing to take a shot on somebody like a David Dahl. And I'm with you. When I read that about Rougned Odor, I was, a little surprised as well. But you sit back and you think about it, and you think about the spots that may be available on this opening day roster or at different points throughout the season. Probably not a crazy idea. Now you look at Odor's numbers the last couple of years, they aren't what they were. On the other hand, he's 29 years old. On the other hand, he's a veteran. On the other hand, he's, been through a lot of different situations.
How many hands do you have, Sammy?
So many hands.
I mean, I've got 4 or 5. I mean, he's a veteran player. So is it a crazy idea that he could be a bench piece on this team and get some big hits? Probably not. But you're right. We did not have Rougned Odor on the radar, before whenever it was, a week or two ago. So it's interesting, but again, I think it speaks to the idea that, like, if you're the Padres and you're just trying to make this the absolute best 26-man roster for right now that you can each and every day, well, you're going to explore some different avenues. If that means bringing in some guys that, may cost a little bit more and are a little bit more on the veteran end of things, that's where they are right now. So you get it. But that was an interesting article and some comments. I read that yesterday too.
All right, Sammy. Guardians, Padres, Michael Wacha on the mound. First Cactus League start today. We'll be interested in your report tomorrow morning on a Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I may stay here in Peoria to watch the B game.
That's fine.
With Juan Soto in it and Shane Bieber also pitching. So we're going to see. I got to figure it out, but I may actually stay here today to catch that game.
It's a good B game.
When is Juan Soto leaving?
Yeah, it's Friday
Tomorrow?
is what they said.
Well,
yeah.
I believe it will be tomorrow as long as everything goes well today. Yeah.
All right. Safe travels.
Sammy Spring Training and our
Thank you, buddy.
Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. And don't forget, Ben & Woods Open. I wonder if we can get Sammy out to the Ben & Woods Open.
Probably.
I hope so. Going to take place Thursday, April 6th. Golf at Rancho Bernardo Inn. Slots in the tourney go on sale Wednesday, March 22nd. We're getting all the final details dialed in right now, but there are going to be some great tee prizes, giveaways. We got raffle items. It's going to be really good. Thanks to our sponsors, Coastal Fire and Integration Systems and Cobra Golf for help making it possible. Back with the Ryle Report next on 97.3 The Fan.
The crack of
Well, since you've already accused me of being somewhat college basketball obsessed, we're only 3 hours away from San Diego State basketball in the quarterfinals of the Mountain West tournament.
Indeed, sir.
They will be playing Colorado State after the Rams pulled one out against Fresno State in the first round yesterday. Now, you'll get a team that is playing their second game in 2 days. You should have a bit of an advantage there, being the number one seed and having the bye into the quarterfinals.
How's DePaul doing?
Well, they don't play again until
Doing great.
later today.
Okay.
It was
Seton Hall out.
They're out. Yes, the Pirates are out. It was suggested, I saw writing in the UT, though, that the Mountain West maybe should go to a format more like the West Coast Conference, where if you win the league, you get more buys. Like you don't have to play 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That one of the reasons perhaps the Aztecs and other Mountain West champions have struggled in the NCAA tournament is that they just played Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then Selection Sunday, and then they practice for a day, and then they have to usually fly out on Tuesday to an NCAA tournament venue, and they're playing on Thursday again. And this league is not putting their better teams in a position to succeed in the most important time of the year, the NCAA tournament. So maybe, what the West Coast Conference does is, like, if you finish 11th, you have to win like 5 games to get to the championship. Whereas Gonzaga and St. Mary's, they go right to the semifinals. It's like 2 games, they're done, they're in. They make it a lot easier. And I know some of the coaches in the Mountain West would prefer a format like that, especially coaches of teams that generally do well and, don't want to have to play these 3 games in 3 days every single year.
How about you win the Mountain West? You don't have to play this tournament at all.
Well,
you just win.
And I'll throw it out there
That
as
should
well.
be the way it's done.
Right?
Put some more emphasis on the regular season.
The regular season.
The fact that San Jose State can go 0-24 or whatever in conference play
and win this tournament,
rally in 4 days and win the tournament and get in is stupid.
It's stupid.
It's one of the least necessarily fair things about college basketball, but it's also one of the things that makes it great.
Yeah, everybody has
is
kind of a
that
chance.
You never give up on the season, because you could lose every single game, but if you've got a conference tournament and you start winning, you could get into the NCAA tournament. You could win the
How many
NCAA
conferences
tournament.
can they do both? Like regular season champs and tournament champs? Can get
No,
in?
because then you'd be given. There's like 13 or 14 conferences that are 1-bid leagues. So all of a sudden you're opening that up for another 14 teams that get in that don't really deserve it.
If those are 1-bid teams, you would assume that the team that wins the regular season also wins
They
the conference tournament.
It rarely happens that way, though. Conference tournaments are so random that the team that wins the regular season, I would say less than half the time wins their conference tournament. So you'd be opening up for a lot of
so
more.
let's say at most, how many? 15 conferences?
Yeah, like 1-bid league.
Let's call it 50. Well, how many conferences total?
30, around 30. I think there's.
So it'd be
I
like
think
the
there's
whole field.
32 at-large teams and 34 automatic berths, or something like 36 automatic berths. So there's a lot of conferences. There's like
winning your conference regular season should have a higher reward than
winning your conference tournament.
Having a great 3 days or whatever.
I mean,
because
in a fair world, yes, but if you're playing a conference tournament and there's no prize at the end, no trip to the NCAA tournament, you lose a lot of people's interest in the what are you playing for then?
Well, can't this only? What's the risk reward for the San Diego State Aztecs?
Well, that's the other thing that you can make the argument that San Diego State would just be better off losing today.
And just
to Colorado
resting.
State and just resting and
until
not
the
playing
tournament.
2 more days. They know they're in the tournament.
The 5 seed if they win the whole thing, but a 14 seed.
No, I mean, at most, it's going to affect 1 seed line. At the most, is it better off just saying, you know what, let's just rest and get ready. We know we're in. Why play 3 days to fight for what might not even be a change in seed? Last year, they, the committee didn't put a lot of weight in the conference tournaments. Who won, who lost.
Conference is better though. In all conference tournaments.
Yeah, in all conference tournaments. They just didn't. They just said we're pretty much seeding on the regular season anyway. And these conference tournaments are a couple automatic bids are in, but we're not going to change what we've already done because they've already started that seeding work at this point. They're in those rooms discussing it.
That's grinding out that many games and that
for what?
For what? Right. Like, I guess Because what's the lag between the end of the tournament? It's a week, right?
4 days.
4 days between the end of the
Really?
tournament
Yeah.
and the NCAA
I
tournament.
mean, by the time, they get back from Las Vegas on late Saturday night or whenever it is, they'll wake up, they'll go get their selection Sunday.
Yep.
Monday, they'll practice at Viejas. And Tuesday, they'll get on another plane
and go to
wherever they're going to play.
Thursday.
Practice on Wednesday, probably play on Thursday. Some teams play Thursday, some play on Friday,
Right.
but it's quick. And even quicker if you're in a play-in game. I mean, you may play Tuesday if you're an 11 seed or a 16 seed in one of those play-in first 4 games as well. So, yeah, I mean, don't be that bummed if the Aztecs happen to lose
if they
today.
don't win this tournament.
Yeah, or lose today even. I mean, if they're going to get all the way to Saturday, you might as well win at that point.
Yeah.
But every year Dutcher's been coach, they've gotten to at least the final. So they've played all 3 games every single time they've been in this tournament. And you know how many times they've won in the NCAA tournament after that?
Zero.
Dutcher, under Dutcher, 0. None.
No, they've never won.
They have not won any games under Dutcher.
Both times
in
they
the
made it
NCAA
to the Sweet
tournament.
16, they won the tournament.
They did. And those were really good teams. And in Dutcher's defense, his best team, 30-2, didn't get to play because of the pandemic. So, that's a stat that comes with a really big asterisk.
So don't go full doom and gloom if the Aztecs lay an egg.
In fact, go kind of give a little tiny fist pump and go, good, go home,
rest it up,
practice, and get ready for the NCAA tournament, which is what we really care about.
Because I was going to say, like in baseball, when your team is that hot, you're like, bro, get us to the ballpark. Get us now, but with a 4-day lag or something, it's not
doesn't
gonna
work
continue.
in basketball that way.
It just doesn't work. Interesting. All
All
right.
right.
What time's the game?
Noon. Noon today. Less than 3 hours. Let's see what else is going on. Get some Ryle Report headlines.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Ryle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Ryle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
Just had to do a last second scrub of some audio.
Yeah. Well,
It's a word that technically we can say, but there's one gentleman in the building.
kind of like how you say it.
Well, his name rhymes with Schmadam Schmlug. And every time I say it on the radio, I get a phone call after the show. The FCC can't fine us for it,
Right.
but he just doesn't.
Well, there's plenty of other words in this upcoming audio here that we could get fined for. It is the Ryle Report brought to you by your San Diego Sockers. The Lords of Indoor are on to the march to the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. Get your tickets at sdsockers.com. We are talking NBA here. Fred VanVleet, point guard for the Raptors. The Raptors lost to the Clippers last night, 108-100. And Fred VanVleet
He went
off on the officiating in that game. He starts by saying, I don't mind. I'll take the fine. I don't care. Believe me, he will be getting a fine for this. Here's what Fred VanVleet had to say about the officials, really one particular official in yesterday's game.
I mean, I don't mind. I'll take a fine. I don't really care. I thought, Ben Taylor was terrible tonight. I thought that most nights, a couple of the, out of the 3, there's 1 or 2 that just the game up, and it's been like that a couple games in a row. Denver was tough, obviously. You come out tonight, you're competing pretty hard. The third quarter, I get a tech, change the whole dynamic of the game, change the whole flow of the game. And, most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs are trying hard. They're pretty fair. They communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be and just kind of the game up. Nobody's coming to see that. They come to see the players. And I think we're losing a little bit of the fabric of what the NBA is and was. And it's been disappointing this season. You could look up most of my texts this year have been with Ben Taylor officiating. So at a certain point as a player, you feel it's personal. And it's never a good place to be. That's not why we lost tonight. We got outplayed. But it definitely makes it tougher to overcome.
So he said most of his texts have come with that one
Same with that
referee
guy.
on the floor.
Yeah, it happens in baseball all the time. I mean, you pick out your guy you don't like, and you're gonna ride that guy.
Paulie Marmol, CB Buckner.
100%. If we had the ability to be fined on a weekly basis or like a daily basis, who would accrue the most fines?
You.
Hannah would be like, you spent your entire paycheck just ripping somebody, and you got fined how much? It's $100 every time I open my mouth. What if Michael started finding me every time I say something bad about Odyssey?
Swear
You'd
jar.
be paying to do the
I'd
show.
be broke. Yeah, I'd be paying to come here.
So in yesterday's game, the Raptors were called for 23 fouls. Clippers were called for 18. But LA had 31 free throw attempts compared to just 14 for Toronto. And Fred VanVleet ended up getting a technical midway through the third quarter. And it was just, he was done at that point. Fred VanVleet.
Not as cool as Van Zandt.
No, but it's up there. It's the
Close.
Van.
VanVleet.
It's the Van.
Ben Van Higgins, Steven Van Woods, Paul Van Rindel, all better than the names we actually have. Ben Van Woods should be the name of our new show.
Fine by me.
Ben Van Woods.
Elsewhere in the NBA, kind of kicked it around. Maybe this is a don't do this, but I don't really know where the don't do this lies.
Oh, Paulie.
Because it's you don't
hard to
fault the guy for getting hurt, but Kevin Durant
Oh.
traded to the Phoenix Suns, getting ready for his home debut last night. And
Because he was injured for a few games, and then
Yeah.
he played on the road a couple of times, and now he's coming home.
How's
for
he
Phoenix.
doing in Phoenix?
He's only played a couple of times.
How did he do?
Fine.
Not bad. Average Kevin Durant
He's
type
Kevin Durant.
performance.
Kevin Durant type games. Yeah.
He was warming up yesterday and he slipped and sprained his left ankle before the game.
So gross. I saw it. I went,
yeah.
It looked super awkward too.
well,
I saw a
it looked like
report
us
today.
going up for a layup. Me or Ben. Paulie
Yeah.
plays basketball, but it's definitely Ben. Show me your best
Yeah.
layup. Ah, falls over.
Yep. That's what it looked like.
It was, but they had a still shot of. He's what, 9 feet tall? His whole body weight on the bent ankle and the side of his foot is on the floor. It's so he just looked like it looked like Sniper got it.
Yeah. And so he got scratched. All the Suns fans bought tickets to see the debut, didn't get to see it. Sammy even said he almost bought a ticket to go to that game last
Tickets
night.
were up like 300%. Everybody in town wanted to see that game. And because they wanted to see Kevin Durant, and that just didn't happen. I saw a report earlier. I don't remember who posted it in the NBA, but there's concern he might be out for the season. At least the regular
That is
season.
such a blow. It's such a blow. You get a guy of his caliber on a really good team already, and then
You're like, this is it. This is our
we
year.
are in this thing this year.
Now, have we seen an update on how serious it is?
He just
or-
said.
What did he say? They already know? I thought they had to test today.
I just want.
Is it too much to ask?
Sorry.
He hates the Ryle Report with a vicious passion.
He does it during other parts of the show too.
I know he's getting an MRI, but do they have any idea of like
45 seconds
he
ago, I
just
said,
said
I
it.
don't remember who posted it, but I did see reports this morning that there is concern that Kevin Durant could miss the rest of the season.
Oh, okay. So it is very serious.
Why do you do this?
I don't know. I missed that part apparently. I heard the MRI part.
Next up, Fred VanVleet went
I know.
off on the referee.
Got that one. Got that one. Thank you.
What are we going to do with him?
I don't know. Electric shocks. When you that's what they would have done in the 50s.
Finally.
I think I might be if I only focused on you guys the entire time listening,
we'd have a
I would
great
probably
show.
just
The
sit
show
here-
would be amazing.
I'd sit here for 4 hours and I'd have nothing to say. We'd get no liners read. Nothing would get done. I mean, I kind of need to think about other things sometimes while you're talking.
It's the last thing you should be doing on a talk radio show is thinking about other things.
That I'm about to have to do on the talk radio
On
show.
the list of
I'm not-
priorities for
I'm not
hosting
like-
a
it's not
successful
a
talk
liner.
radio show, it's actively listening and engaging with my co-hosts. Reading liners is like way down here.
He's such a soldier though. Like
He is.
like he can't
I feel a
I
responsibility
get
to
it.
handle this part
Adam's
of
like, you better
the
read
job.
that
When
GD Sam Hunt liner.
when you're gone. I read no liners.
Right.
Zero. None. I'm like, Paulie's like, don't forget, it's the premiere. I'm like, have a ball. Because you know what's more important? My conversations.
Then I want you guys to continue to focus on that. I'm trying to take it off your plate.
I get it. It's inherently a good thing that you're doing. But not it's funny. Don't stop, actually, because I like when you do it.
Just know we're gonna wear you out.
I think we have one more story left here.
We do.
He's like, please get to it.
A couple days ago, Nick Cannon posted a video and he said, "We are expecting a new show on E. Hashtag Who's Having My Baby premieres this spring
Sounds
on
terrible.
E channel with Kevin Hart." Here's the trailer.
You're on a game show right now.
Kevin Hart and Nick Cannon are coming to E for the mother of all game shows.
Having my baby with Nick Cannon. You got pyro? Yeah. You're going to get some contestants that want to have your baby.
We're not kidding around.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's go!
Who's Having My Baby with Nick Cannon, hosted by Kevin Hart. This spring, only on E.
I mean, when I say Nick Cannon, like that's what he's known for these days,
Having
right?
kids.
He's got like 12. I think is he up to 12
I'm a
or
little
13?
confused as to the concept here,
So
though.
am I.
Well, there's been an update. That was posted on, what is today? Thursday. That was posted on Tuesday. And then yesterday, they posted this. Kevin Hart and Nick Cannon. They do not have a new show called Who's My Baby Mama or whatever that was.
You're having my baby.
Here's what they said after they let that sink in and everybody lose their minds over the new show.
You're on a game show right now.
Oh, sorry.
I got you. Having my baby with Nick Cannon is not real, y'all.
Wow.
But my new E show with Kevin Hart, Celebrity Prank Wars, is real. There's nothing that besties do better
Than pranking each other. And that's why we created Celebrity Prank Wars, the show where we help our famous friends pull off some of the most elaborate pranks.
Celebrity Prank Wars. The prank up begins April 6th, only on E.
Everyone lost their mind at the original tweet and video.
They got
The new show, and they got us. Celebrity Prank Wars is the actual show
Or
coming
is
to
it?
E Network. Or is it? I guess we'll find out. Find out over the weekend.
Got you again, you stupid.
Just a long running bit.
See, now you give little lines like that, and it makes up for you not paying attention.
Speaking of Sam Hunt,
don't forget from earlier, DePaul, one of the greatest lines in Ben and Wood's history. I feel like it's underrated already, and now you work with DePaul. It's so good. All right, go ahead.
Listen to 97.3 The Fan of the Odyssey app for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Sam Hunt at Resorts World Theater and a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Every hour you listen now through March 19th equals one entry in the contest. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. That's for April 21st and April 22nd. Good job. Thank you. Ryle Report complete
Thank
on
you,
a
DePaul.
Thursday.
You're welcome, to Woods.
All right. Let's see. We still have we're done for the day with the World Baseball Classic. We have some stats, though. Yeah, until tonight. I mean, we're kind of, today is tomorrow and they're going to a new day. It's very confusing. I get it. We do have some stats from Jeff Passan that Paul just mentioned, though, that we can get to from spring training on game time and some other
runs
offense
scored.
things,
That's
how the new
interesting.
rules are affecting baseball. So I'm curious to hear how it's going so far. We will get into that coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, let's see. I just saw that Australia game, Australia-Korea. Good baseball game last night in the World Baseball Classic. Took 3 hours and 46 minutes. I don't know that there has been a single spring training game that has gone anywhere close to that long so far with the new pitch clock rules in effect in Major League Baseball. But I thought Paulie said he just saw some info from Jeff Passan about how it is going now that we have a bit more of a sample size. I know the first weekend they said, "Ooh, games are faster." Well, that's one weekend.
Well, it's still
now we're
a couple weeks.
Now we're 2 weeks into spring training games. We have a bit more of a sample size of how those new rules are really affecting things like game time.
Yeah, Jeff Passan says spring training 2022 versus 2023 time of game. Last year, average time of game was 3 hours and 1 minute. This year, 2 hours and 36 minutes.
25 minutes faster in spring training.
Okay, I'm on board with that. Runs per game in 2022, 10.6 runs per game. In 2023, 11 runs per game. So runs are up.
Runs a little tiny bit. Not a huge amount, but, that's acceptable.
Stolen base attempts per game in 2022 is 1.6 per game. This year, 2.4.
Okay.
BABIP on ground balls was 235 last year. It's 258 this year. And the strikeout rate in 2022 is 23.9%. This year it's down to 23.1%. So strikeouts are down because they're hitting the ball more stolen bases, more runs, and a faster game time.
Okay, so what I like about those stats is not that it's working generally the way that they hoped it will. I like that none of them are extremes.
Yes.
You want more offense. You don't want twice as much offense.
True.
You just want a little bit more. You're not
turning a 3-hour baseball game into 45 minutes.
No, and you don't want every ground ball to start going through. You want just a handful more to kind of get through. That's what we're seeing. A tick up in average, a tick up in offense, a tick down in game time. And 25 is kind of significant, I'll say that, but I have no problem with that. And then a tick up in stolen bases. I don't necessarily want every inning there to be a stolen base attempt and there's 18 of them a game. But yeah, another extra stolen base try or two a game, no problem with that either. I mean, it's having almost exactly as they kind of hoped it would. Every single thing is playing out on the field during spring training.
Yeah, so far so good. I'm going to defer to Joe Sheehan's brilliant perspective on this program last week when he said, talk to me in June. And I agree with that. I want to see how this plays out in the regular season. And I know there's going to be instances where
go back. Because what's the argument that it will be different than spring training?
Because these games will count and you have the elite of the elite actually playing in this game. Stolen bases are up in spring training. Cool. You got some kid that's not going to make the team that's outswiped. You know what I mean? Like, these are the elite of the elite. This is your starting rotation and your deep bullpen and your superstar players all in the same lineup. Look, I think
but how would it slow down with better players?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And in fact, I think what he's saying though is let's see how it plays out for the first half of the season before we rush to judgment that it is inherently a great thing for baseball. I tend to agree that we're going to get used to it, but wait, if the Padres get banged because Austin Nola wasn't ready to look at the pitcher, his head wasn't turned at a 45-degree angle in time, and the game's over, I think we're going to be a little mad about some of the
Is that on the rules or is that on Austin Nola?
I don't. It's a little bit of both, maybe. Again, it's umpire discretion. I can see in my mind us having conversations about things that hurt our baseball team that we like.
I get it. And I'm sure there were basketball fans that were horrified when they put a shot clock in. Like, that's not basketball.
There were probably...
You should be able to dribble around as long as you want for 7
Yeah.
minutes and then take a shot.
That's strategy.
That no one would watch basketball. If that's what basketball looked like today.
I already don't watch basketball. I can't. How could I watch?
It'd be a nightmare.
How could I watch negative basketball?
It would be a nightmare if they didn't evolve with their rules,
correct,
with the changing demographic populace of what they want to see. And baseball is making what really are very minimal changes.
Yeah.
The game is essentially still
and it
almost exactly the same with a tiny bit of difference.
Like I said,
making a good effect.
Inherently, I think I think we're all going to enjoy this game of ours that we love. Inherently, I do. After a while, again, it's like anything. You're going to get used to it. But I can see, and can you guys see in our mind's eye, Ben, of all people, coming in and getting so upset because the ump was a half second off, and you can see it in the clock, and he made a decision, and it cost the Padres a huge game. Like, we can all picture, because there still is stuff left to discuss.
I will be mad. I don't think I will say we need to get rid of all the rules.
Right.
I'll be mad at someone for not enforcing them, just like I'm mad when an umpire makes a mistake on anything else. Just, when an umpire,
that's true.
When an umpire
I'm always
does
mad,
a bad,
I'm always mad.
Does
at
a
umpires.
bad balk
Nothing's gonna
call, and I
change.
go, how did you? That shouldn't have been a balk. It's like you don't get rid of the balk rule because of it.
True.
Be better,
It's a good
umpire.
point. It's a good
Be
point.
better at enforcing the rules.
Boy, that's asking a lot. Throwing more on their plate.
Well, and
was
if they're
maybe
not,
the
we'll
answer.
stick Fred Van Vliet on them.
Yes, that's what we need. But I think, again, I think all those in favor will come out with the numbers and say, I mean, this is going to be a great thing for baseball, and it very well may be. But like you just said, Ben, that game last night, 3 hours and 46 minutes, nobody needs 162 of those. Hey, by the way, just to let everybody know, even with this clock, there's going to be games this year that drag.
Good.
There's going to be games that take forever. Then there's going to be games that are fairly crisp, and you're like, game's over? I don't think anybody's going to be.
I don't want
upset
every
about
game
it.
to be
346. I don't either.
Yeah, but I don't want them all to be crisply played in 227 either.
Me neither.
I like a little variety.
Give me a little variety. And that's the beauty of baseball. Paul said the other day he loves the NBA because he knows he can sit down at a certain time and he knows when it's going to be over unless there's overtime. I kind of disagree. I'm more of the, oh man, that was a quick ass game. I got my whole night ahead of me. Or, oh my
But
God,
I want a quick game to be 230, not 250,
Right.
and I want a slow game to be 3 hours, not 330 or 340.
Yeah.
That's all
fair.
I'm saying.
I think that's a really fair compromise.
All right, we have some Dierks Bentley tickets to give away. Call now, be the fourth caller at 833-288-0973 and win a pair of tickets for the concert on August 18th at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets go on sale March 24th at Ticketmaster.com, but win them now to see Dierks Bentley at NICU Amphitheater on August 18th, 833-288-0973, and we'll be back. Final segment of Ben and Woods on a Thursday. Don't go anywhere. San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the world-famous Bob-O-Pedic mattresses with all the comfort and quality of a national mattress brand for half the price. No matter your budget, there's a Bob-O-Pedic Memory Foam Hybrid or Hybrid Plus mattress for you. Check them out at mybobs.com. We had some accusations of some flubbing going into that last break.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You did it again.
We had some accusations of flubbing.
I heard maybe a 93.
I'm not going to dispute. I did feel a little flustered somehow at the end of that segment. So I wouldn't be surprised if I made a small, tiny error at some point.
So I know now.
I think I was going to try to say
San Diego
sports segment or something like that. Yeah, I was all over the map at the end.
Here we go.
Okay.
Final segment of Ben and Woods on a Thursday. Don't go anywhere. San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan.
Yes. So we now have.
I was saying San Diego's #1 sports segment, and I meant station. San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan.
Okay, so now we have Paulie. We have a 97.3 Fan, and we have a 93.
Ben and Woods back after checking traffic on 97.3 Fan.
And
San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan.
So we have, all right, again, 93
Do you
The
think
Fan.
at some point I can drop one word from all of it on 7.3 The Fan?
79.3.
97.3 The 93 The Fan. 97 The Fan.
You are just something else, man.
I just have to take every word at some point out.
Dude, and the worst part is I missed it entirely. Our audience is trained. Jordan, I think, tweeted in. He goes, did I just hear 93 The Fan?
San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan. I was within 4.3 of getting it right.
You really were.
That's within the margin. That's what we say is within the margin of error.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
Plus or minus 4.3.
You hit the green, but you're very far from the hole.
93.
93 The Fan. To go the other
Fan.
direction, I could say 101.6 The Fan.
Yep.
I'm still within 4.3.
No,
Traffic on 97.3 Fan.
Which one's better? I do love 97.3 Fan. So
This one, you can hear him start to stumble, which I think just sets the table for a great flush.
San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan.
93 The Fan is so good. Now, typically when you come from another station, and I know it's been a while, you say the old call letters.
Yeah, you have to train yourself.
Here we are in the mighty 97.3 The Fan.
I'm sure we did that.
I'm positive that one of us did at least.
It's not San Diego Sports Leader. It's We're in San Diego's #1 sports station.
I think Ben gave the wrong phone number a couple of times.
Yeah, I think that happened.
Do you remember the old one?
Oh, do I?
I do.
7-888-45. No, you remember it? I don't.
7-8.
It was we had two numbers, and one was 457, and the other one was 792.
Back in the day, radio stations would have a local number and then an 800 number.
What is a lumber?
For different callers, because we used to have phone plans that it mattered, like where you were calling. Now it's irrelevant, right? Does anyone still have on their long distance charges? Do they still do that? I don't even use a home phone anymore. Are there still such a thing as long distance charges?
I haven't had a landline, dude.
Like if you call your aunt in New Jersey, well, we got to keep this call short because the long distance charges are racking up.
No, but I do remember having to have a calling card my whole life because my dad was like, "Don't call me collect," and you have a calling card, so you just burn through your minutes. My mom would call. I put $100 on your calling card, so call home every now and then. So no, I don't know. I honestly don't know of a single human being with a landline. Do your parents have a landline?
I don't even know if they still have one.
I don't think
I haven't called it in years if they do.
Yeah.
I still remember the number though.
Oh, sure.
For my parents.
Just say it on the air.
All right, I'll just pass on that. I still know my own. I technically still have a landline at home, I think.
You do?
Well, I don't have a phone hooked up to it.
Oh,
but there's a number that's associated with.
Then you're paying for it.
Well, it's all bundled with the cable.
Yeah, but you can take it off.
I bet it doesn't save you any money. I don't think so.
All right. 93 The Fan. So good.
Got an update on the Players Championship is underway for the golf fans out there. That's the one with the island green. Biggest prize in the history of PGA Tour golf.
20
this week.
mil?
I bet you didn't know that. $25 million purse with a $4.5 million winner's check. More than any Masters or U.S. Open or ever in the history of golf. Biggest payday coming up this weekend. I'll give you the early leaderboard update after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Two hot spots wrapping up our morning drive, guys. One of them is southbound side of the 15 past Via Rancho Parkway. Two left lanes are blocked, and a crash involving a motorcycle on the northbound side of the 805 near Balboa. This one's got middle lanes blocked, very slow all the way from University. If you normally take North 805 to get to the Golden Triangle, consider taking northbound 5 instead. Just seeing a few brake lights from Washington Street up toward the 8. After that, you are looking good. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Morning Wave wrapping up their first round of the Players' Championship in a good opening round for Colin Morikawa. He's playing the 9th hole, which is his 18th of the day. He is 7 under par and a solo leader at the Players' Championship, 1 shot ahead of Chad Ramey and 2 ahead of Taylor Pendrith and Adam Svensson. As for some of the other big names, go down to Scotty Scheffler at 3 under. John Rahm is at 1 under par along with Patrick Cantlay. And then Rory McIlroy did not have a good day. I'm scanning down how far to go. He's been playing good lately, but 3 over through 17 holes for Rory McIlroy.
How's the weather?
Much better than last year. Last year was windy and they had that island. They had that island green. I remember just you looked like you were hitting one right at the pin, and it ended up 40 yards out into the water. Sunnier and much better weather this year for the Players' Championship with the $25 million purse this week.
Definitely going to watch some of that today.
I saw our friends at the Fire Pit Collective, Alan Shipnuck, was writing, and while players are very excited about, especially the top players, about all this extra money that they're paying out, they're not exactly keeping the sponsors all that happy, in terms of where is all this money going to be coming from? They're trying to keep up with LIV, but they don't have the Saudi Arabian government backing them. They need to get money from sponsors like, Farmers Insurance and Honda, and they can't just say, oh, yeah, by the way, if you want to sponsor this tournament, we need another $10 million to increase the purse.
That typically is tough when
it's a tough sell in this economy.
Yeah.
They're already like, what am I getting for my extra $10 million? Nothing else. We're just paying the players a lot more. So they don't go to LIV. Well, isn't that more of your problem than my problem?
Right.
And then you've got these events that are elevated, but then there's the non-elevated events, which the fields aren't as good, and the sponsors for those tournaments aren't as happy anymore. I mean, Farmers had a good field this year, but if it continues to be a non-elevated event, how long is it before, some of the top players start skipping and going, yeah, I'd love to play, but I'm already playing the elevated event the week before and the elevated event the week after. I need a break somewhere. So sorry, Torrey Pines, I can't come this year. And then what is Farmers going to do? Is go, well, we're not getting the best players anymore, and you want us to pay more money, not less. So the sponsors aren't exactly all that pleased with the PGA Tour right now.
It doesn't bode well for the PGA in the long run. And what I think they're praying and hoping is that, because I don't think LIV's going to run out of money, but you're just hoping that it somehow folds. And the biggest question to ask is money all you need to keep a league alive? Because if LIV decided, all right, let's be honest, if the Saudi Arabian government said, let's do a football league. We've got an endless supply of money. Now, there's a ton more expense with football teams than there are, a few dozen
rent out
golfers.
A golf course for a week and
exactly.
put a purse together. Sure.
That being said, if they have this unlimited amount of money, does anybody watch that league? No. Does it? And how long can you keep that up?
Well, I mean, we see no one's watching the XFL right now.
Right.
But what if Saudi Arabia came to Aaron Rodgers right now and said, we're going to give you $250 million
to play quarterback
our new league's team.
Right.
Would people?
I think Aaron Rodgers would go.
Yeah, but would people follow and start watching that league?
That's the thing
with Aaron Rodgers.
Is anyone watching Live?
You know, I mean, that's kind of the Live equivalent. They're stealing some of the older, better name, bigger names from the past, not necessarily in their prime.
Is money
and overpaying them to do it?
Is money truly all you need to keep something afloat? Is that all you need? Do you
what if Saudi Arabia says we will continue to pay? Why would anyone? I mean, they've already decided to go. They're not going to leave now.
Right.
If you're going to keep the checks, keep cashing.
They don't care that no one's watching.
I mean, will they?
They don't care. There's no
maybe a couple of
competition.
guys eventually get tired of no one watching, and
maybe
no one. This feels like I'm making a ton of money, but no one cares if I win. No one's watching. There's no prestige. There's no history to any of these things. It's not getting me ready for the majors. I don't feel that. Maybe there's a couple of guys who will get tired of the whole Live scene, but as long as the money's flowing, I don't see it going anywhere.
Very interesting.
And maybe maybe Liv's hoping, if we spend enough, maybe we can bury the PGA Tour and get rid of them. Which does anyone really want that?
No,
though?
I know.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't either.
I think even the guys who are making a ton of money, if they said, yeah, you won, Live, great, with the PGA Tour has gone bankrupt, and now all these guys are going to have to go over to Live. Congratulations. Is that better for their sport, or do they consider that a win? Or do they realize, well, we had an amazing thing that people loved, and we have wrecked it. Totally wrecked it.
It certainly has made golf pretty fascinating, to watch these two leagues go head to head. But I guess I didn't really think about that, man, with the sponsors and all that. I mean, it's tough. Go to ask somebody, hey, I know you've paid, X for this. I need X plus 10 million.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The top players in the world are pretty happy that the paychecks are up, and they've these no-cut events now that they're going to have next year. Hey, we don't even have to play that well to make money. But guess who's not that happy? The non-top 50 players in the world. So, now I'm not even eligible for these big money events. Harder to get into them.
The old school mentality is cool. Play better,
and that's true.
And that's kind of your opportunity. Oh, you don't like it? Play better, and get in the top 50, and then you can have the spoils.
And,
to the victor
and
goes
as
the
long
spoils.
as that is the case, as long as you feel like the guys who are playing the best always have a chance to get in, then it's probably fair.
Yeah.
Now, if at some point, a top player has just a miserable 2 years, but they're still going because, hey, inertia, and they got into all these events, and then they might have a problem on their hands.
Sure.
Xander Schauffele said it yesterday. He said, I think it's good, but I don't really know until we play it out a couple of years.
No doubt.
Is it fair? Is it working the way? Are people having an opportunity to play their way in? I don't know yet. I mean, it seems like a good idea, but I think he had a very wise, just like you have with the pitch clock and the new rules.
I kind of want to wait it out.
We don't really know until we've played it out for a while.
I kind of want to wait it out.
You can't just make a judgment after a day or two and say, great idea, we fixed all of our problems. You have to see how it plays out in real life.
No question about it. I'm definitely going to watch some of that when I get home.
All right, Padres Guardians, 12:05 today from Goodyear, Arizona. Michael Wacha on the mound for the Padres. I'm not sure what other pitchers are heading down.
Oh, it said Suarez will throw and Hader will throw.
Oh, okay, so we'll get some of the top bullpen arms today as well. Fernando Tatis Jr. is leading off as the designated hitter. I have one hit, over a half a hit in our matchup.
Yeah, I was forced.
You got forced to the over.
I cannot root for that. Yeah, I will. It's $10. I will gladly lose. I'd pay $10 a hit for Fernando Tatis Jr. this season.
That could get expensive. At some point.
That's the goal. You hope. I'm happy to shell out a ton of money to see this kid get a bunch of knocks. But I think I'm with you. I think the cold 0 for 13 skid ends today, and I'm going to even go as far as to say, first AB gets it out of the way.
Okay.
Knock.
And now does he go over the fence?
No.
Not yet.
Single.
Yeah.
Hard single.
Okay.
He'd take a bleeder at this point.
Sure.
He would take a flare over the second baseman's head and be feeling like $1 billion. The streak, I think, will end today, and I'm happy to go back to even with you on our show bets.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Tomorrow, Paulie, anything that we need to tease that we know that we have planned for a Friday?
Craig Elston.
Stay tuned to our
Sammy
social
Levitt,
channels.
And we're going to be joined by our buddies from the Gulls tomorrow.
Oh, Matt Savant's coming in.
Matt
think,
Savant's
right?
going to be in
Love Matt
studio.
Savant, dude.
I think they've got a full weekend of action at Pechanga that they want to talk about, which is great. I haven't seen Matt in a while,
Love
so
Matty.
it'll be fun.
Good
All right,
people.
that is it for us today. As always, all guests on Ben Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Enjoy National Crab Meat Day, and we will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. with Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods, and me, Ben Higgins, on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3, The Fan.